Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 31st of December 2024 into 1st of January 2025. Here is the audio from the live stream, which was visually unwatchable due to a technical error. Happy New Year. We love you all.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell, happy Thanksgiving.
Well, here we are.
Yeah, this isn't too bad.
Happy New Year. It's not too bad yet.
Welcome to 2025.
Can anybody hear us? Can anybody let us sound off in the chat? Let us know. Ligers live stream.
Rob's been sending in complaints already.
I'm losing my mind here. Like, you just left it too late in the day, and I didn't even get anything for my troubles either. We were like, oh, let's go and have a fry at Tony's.
Dude, we got the fucking worst. Where would we go?
Sorry, we're going to name and shame them here. Fellini's.
And let me tell you. If Ligers,
yeah, you know what to do.
you know what to do.
You were very angry with that.
It was furious.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, it wasn't just me, it was everyone.
I know. But it was the thing that was funny about it. There was a bit where like they kind of it was like, hey, it's the oldest cafe in Cork, and then the other thing that's supposed to be funny about it is all the kind of kitsch along it.
The junk.
Yeah, so they had this little like mannequin, and then it was like pushed against the wall, and then James's chair was next to it, and then his elbow grazed it, and I saw him like tearing around trying to fucking rip this thing. He was so angry.
Yeah.
No, but it's not that. I think before the mannequin, it was the thing about the drink that comes with your food, which was either tea or juice, but not coffee.
Yeah, but that was only the start of it. Like, I'm trying to get the chat open on my phone here.
Hello, boys. We got the chat. Okay, that works.
What?
That sounds good. Application audio captured. Why do I have that there? Oh, that was for soundboard. How's the visuals, everybody? This will be like a little...
Yeah.
I think it's frozen.
The whole stream.
I think so, from what I can see on Twitch.
Visually?
Yeah.
Already fucking up. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Tell me when you can hear me.
How's that looking on your end, Zainab?
It's just going to take a second for it to appear. So let's just keep staring. Just keep sitting in silence.
So tense.
Just start messing. I'm just seeing my head like whipping back and forth.
It's a bit robotic.
Yeah, but what's the audio like?
Correct.
Will it manage?
Let me see.
Somebody say something in the chat, please. God.
I mean, the audio's never a problem.
Well, this one might be a problem because it seems to be peaking.
Yeah, but as in, the audio is always streaming.
Audio is fine, says Fionn.
It's the so now we're streaming.
We're streaming. People can see us.
So it's probably plugging into the TV was fucking it up a bit.
It certainly wasn't helping, I'd wager.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta do it.
Yeah, we got to do it. We're going to power through. This kind of is just reflective of the year
Thank you for
2024.
Thank you for bearing with us.
Where we're just hobbling to the end. It's a pretty bad year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've had a horrible year.
Yeah.
My year's been, I had a friend die, and then I got a job in a place I don't like.
Hey, well, they're going to see you. They can
Well, I
watch
didn't
it.
say
No, they'll
where.
never find it.
And then 2 different family illnesses.
Yeah.
And then the fucking stream didn't work.
Here's the thing, when you were like, oh, I had a terrible year, and then somebody died, and I was like, oh my god, if this is glitching now, I'll
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
I will turn on
jingle bells. How was your year, Gareth?
We had it's good, mostly. I mean, it was bad. Like a lot. The highs were high and the lows were very fucking low.
And I mean your year. I don't mean fucking,
I know.
you know, Paul Murphy. Well,
Paul Murphy.
He got in. Gino Kenny. I don't mean
All the politics stuff. That stuff didn't really mentally affect me as much.
mean, the real, you know.
The real shit.
Yeah, dick in pants sort of stuff, you know.
What do you mean by that? Like, so like you mean? So if I start my year, I was like, will I get candid? Will I get real on this podcast?
Why bloody no?
I was like probably more depressed than I've ever been in my entire life, and I thought, I went to like the doctor, okay, and I was like, and I've been to the doctor a number of times to say I am very depressed, and this time I was like, I'm really depressed, and I need you to send me to a psych or somebody who can evaluate me. And then they sent me to the psych ward up there in Cork, and they were like, the psych guy was like, thank you, sorry, he didn't say that. The end is just saying the audio is fine, but I don't think anybody's going to say the video is good.
The audio is fine, it's the content that's the problem.
So anyway, the point is I went up there and he was like, do you know, he's like, what did you get on your leaving cert is one of the questions he asked me.
What did you get?
I don't remember.
Duck egg.
Yeah, this is the one you should be looking at, remember it?
Duck egg.
So then he said, should think about what's happening in Ukraine, and the stuff that's happening there, like, you know, kind of puts into perspective what's happening here. How could it be that bad? You know?
And you were like, yeah, that does cheer me up.
Yeah. The way that
when I think of those orcs getting drowned, it's like Pagliacelli goes to a doctor. Yeah. And the doctor says, you should go to Russia. You know?
Doctor, I am Russia.
I am an orc.
Yeah. But anyway, what ended up happening then was he's like, oh, just take the usual meds you usually do. I was like, I told you they don't work. And he was like, yeah, and I was smoking that ganja all the way down the... And then so I went to my friend's wedding, and then in London, and then when I came back, they were like, here's a letter dated the date that you left, and they're like, you have an appointment, and it was for the day that I'd come back, so I'd already missed it. Yeah. And so I said to them, can I get another appointment? And they were like, yeah, I've booked you in for November. So this was in July. I was like, all right, fucking, you know. So then what ends up happening, I go to London in the meantime, which has its moments. And then they're like, hey, your appointment is in November, and then I don't get back to them. They sent it by post, and then they sent a letter and they go, we didn't hear anything from you, so we're just taking you off the list because we presume everything's great.
Yeah, it's like, presume you're dead.
like you know, when you go in and you go like,
presume you figured out a way to cut out your own head.
Yeah, it's like, that's another person I don't have to worry about. Like, this is given the content of stuff I was saying, but like, anyhow, that's the year that there's been. So what are people saying? What's the chat saying?
I've had a lot of personal complaints. Well, not what. They're over now, actually. Okay. Rob has stopped complaining.
Because I said I wanted to kill myself. Is that it?
I don't know, maybe. But if that works.
He says what?
I'm saying if that makes him stop complaining.
Yeah. Rob, anytime you make a complaint about the show.
Yeah, please send it to James.
Angle the laptop. Just push it so I know where to look.
Alright, cool. So yeah, what was it? So the year, what a fucking year it's been. 2024, okay. Loads of bad stuff happened. We're going to talk about it. Loads of good stuff. I mean, not many good things happened, but we're going to talk about it all. We got guests. We got thrills. The stream doesn't crash.
Well, we don't have live guests.
We don't have guests live, no. But we have some amazing contributions from all over the political sphere.
Planet.
And to ring in the new year. And I want to try now to see if one of these will work. Will I do that? Will I put one of these on?
Hold your breath. We have submissions.
Please hold your breath.
It's 23 minutes to midnight. and we
Is it?
yeah.
All right, we got
Let's
our
get
first
cracking.
guest.
So these are submissions of people's top memories from the year.
Yeah. I might need to turn off the microphone. Hold breath, said Enda. Thank you, Enda. And the worst part is, I have this laptop with the worst speakers that have ever existed. So the benefit of having it through the TV was we got to hear it in this delightful Bluetooth speakery thing. Oh shit! I could have plugged in the fucking. There's so many cables. There's so many bullshit. There's so much bullshit. What we're going to do now is we're going to go now to... Who do you want to go to first of the ones we know?
I'm too flustered.
I know. I'm too fucking stressed out.
Just not. Don't. What about? Fucking hell. Florence.
Do you want to? I'm just saying that the reason I'm saying that, sorry, Bly, is that it's long, and I haven't. I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to give my honest reaction. I personally have not listened to it yet.
I haven't listened to it either.
And we were like, let's just get it live on the stream. It'll be fun, and so I'm sure it will be. But I'm just telling you.
Let's
now.
just do Florence.
Blaheen, if you're listening.
Yeah, Rob sent you a message.
Oh, Rob sent me a message.
I guarantee you, he's just complaining.
No,
No.
he says he wasn't complaining. Actually,
He
Yeah.
was.
He said that he's being misrepresented by James.
That's-
why is he saying this? You know, we have another chat here.
Okay,
You know?
I'm going to read this out. He goes, it says it's offline. Okay, get on with it. 8 minutes waiting now. What's going on?
Rob, I'm not taking this personally at all. Don't mind him.
I'm sorry. If you can wait, this is premium
Yeah.
content.
We got
Okay.
some good stuff. We got some spills. We got some thrills. Actually, while we're at it, let's talk about Rob's best and worst of 2024. Will we do that? Will I read that out?
Yeah.
No, do blind.
We have to put on a clip, actually. Okay, no, I'm not going to do Blaheen's because she's already panicking.
She's what?
Let's do this one. Let's do a complicated one, okay?
Great.
All right. Now, please God.
Hello, Gareth and James, the Celtic Ligers, long-time patron. First time. No, it's not. I've contributed other times. Anyway, you've asked me to send a video talking about a news story from 2024. So I thought I would bring up the well, I was either going to go for the Trump assassination, which was good crack, or well, not good. Well, yeah, it was good crack until he survived. But the hiya, ma'am, just making a video. Wait there.
Do you want me to quote?
No. I'll finish it up there. The Willy Wonka fake. The Willy Wonka fake experience at Glasgow. Chat about that. Wait there. Say hello, mommy.
Oh, well, hello. Who am I saying hello to now?
Oh, it's this podcast I listened to.
Did everybody hear that? Please God. So anyway, certainly James didn't hear it because the speaker's on
I
this.
had to lean in extremely close and I forgot I was on the web. I keep thinking the webcam is coming from the laptop.
It really-
It's like if your dad is doing a Twitch stream, isn't it?
So what she said was
I heard it.
Trump assassination until he didn't die, and then
I remember you texted me about the Trump assassination.
Yeah.
Where you were like, Trump got shot.
yeah.
And it would have been great if he got shot in the head. Like, if his head is, like, exploded. But instead he got shot. Like, it's even more crazy, but less exciting.
Yeah.
He got shot in the ear.
Now here's the other thing that's annoying about it. He was shot, and it hit the teleprompter, which then a shard of glass flew off and split his ear.
My mum used to have a joke. I don't think she made it up. But it was, did you hear whoever got shot?
Yeah.
Where'd he get shot? In the Ardoin.
yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
So the 2024 version would be, did you hear Trump got shot?
Yeah.
Where'd he get shot?
In the ear.
In the teleprompter.
In the teleprompter, and then in the ear, kind of, and then somebody tried to have a go at him again, and then that one didn't even really pan out.
Yeah.
He was in playing golf.
And the guy who did it was extremely ugly.
First one or
Which one, the first one or the second
The
one?
second one.
Okay.
The first one.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
He was like the ugliest 15-year-old you'll ever see.
Here was for America, it was the year of the assassins, wasn't it?
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so Luigi Spaghetti, and he's like, you remember, but also because I was just remembering, I was like, oh yeah, I remember the Trump guy who tried to shoot Trump had like some really confusing, contradictory politics, and then I was like, oh yeah, but also Luigi.
Luigi was good because he was such a normie. He was like, what's his favourite book? Sapiens by the Israeli guy. What did he like to eat? Spaghetti, probably.
He like Luigi Mansion had like the fucking what was it? He gave a review on Goodreads of Matt Iglesias' book, A
5
Billion
stars.
Americans.
5 stars.
And no, he was like 2. He was like, "What the? This guy is a moron." I was like, "Yeah, he is." Oh, I love Luigi Mansion.
I'm going to write a book called A Billion Irishmen. And they're all, all get to work,
Yeah, Luigi. All the fucking skyscrapers around here. They're walking across beams. They're eating sandwiches out of pale tin lunchboxes or
Yeah.
whatever. And then there's what's the other one they do? Yeah, they're their brows are just so heavy it just creates like the earth goes down or
Yeah.
something. I don't know how gravity works, but like we something happens with
And
that.
every day they're working on a skyscraper and they're jumping off, killing themselves.
Yeah.
And then at the funeral, all the foremen are like, but I don't understand. He packed his own lunch.
Yeah.
You know that joke?
I don't know that one.
I'll tell it now.
I think you told it already, really. What are we at? We're nearly a quarter to. The chat is not telling me whether they saw that video, what their thoughts. Oh yeah, with the part we missed the Wonka
That
Experience.
Ruled.
The Wonka Experience.
Wonka psychedelic experience.
What are you saying to me?
No, I wanted to say that I've received some messages saying that the audio is perfect.
There we go. 2024, not all bad.
You hear the audio?
You're the
Here's
audio.
the
You're the
audio.
assassin. So I'm just
How's this for
mortified that
audio?
this is happening. It's all what?
How's that for audio?
Yeah. So what was it? What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the Wonka Experience was very funny. And then like the other thing about the culture at the moment, it's like we can't have a funny thing. It has to be like, now we have on the guy from the Wonka Experience, like that. Yeah, I was wearing the mask and it was
Yeah.
mad. I didn't know what was
But
going on, and I was like,
What was so good about the Wonka experience was that they clearly got ChatGPT to write it.
yeah.
Because Trevor was like, Willie was there, and then the woman was there. But then you remember there was that guy called like Time, or the entity. Do you remember him? And he was just wearing like a black morph suit and carrying a mirror.
Yeah. That was it. That was when
It's
I
like,
was.
that's
thinking.
not in the movie.
Yeah. That's nothing.
It's not even in the book.
Yeah. No, I mean I don't even think that they had ChatGPT. I think they just got people to show up, and then it was like, yeah, you're going to do the Wonka Experience. Because I had to do. There was a set that it was like needed dressing, and they were like, would anybody come and be like, help the art director? And I was like, okay, cool. And I showed up, and then they were like, yeah, this is like an Indian wedding, so like just do like that. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
So imagine somebody shows up, but it's like, what happens? Like, well, we got like a bunch of props, and it's like, there's like a big clown afro, and then there's like, like
Clown dreadlocks.
I knew it. I knew as soon as I said it. I was like, no.
The clown waves.
Yeah.
There's a guy with a clown do-rag on. clown waves. Crispy waves.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You were saying earlier you wanted a defined haircut.
Yeah, no,
You should get the waves going.
my friend said I have a Lego man hair. That's kind
Who
of the
said
only...
that?
Rory.
Yeah, but when
You're
did,
the assassin.
Yeah.
but when-
15 more minutes.
When did he say that? Did he say that?
When I was in
recently?
college, but I pretty much have the
Yeah.
same haircut that I have now, which is
Yeah, but that's like
15 years ago.
a bit too long a fringe, and then it kind of curves over.
People used to say that about Jack
What to do.
Chambers.
Yeah.
That he had a Lego man haircut. And he turned out to be gay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he got a low taper fade.
All right, we'll move on to another one, will we, before the new year?
5, 4.
Before I go to bed.
Before you go to bed, let's check in with the. Oh, this is going to be so. There were so many of these are so good, and the speakers are so shit. And I'm trying to figure out how can we get it so the speakers aren't like complete dick, you know?
I'd love to try plugging it into the TV, but no.
What if we did though? It
It
is
just-
working.
It's working because we took out the TV.
It's like the Tom Cruise movie, Risky Business.
Yeah. Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts then. Chambers has a Lego Man jawline too, says Bobby Ballamore.
But that's a
And
compliment.
he's correct. What?
That's sort of a compliment.
He looks like Emmett. I know Emmett
He's
Kenny
Emmett.
loves Emmett from the Lego movie because he's like, hey, he's got my name. And how many heroes have the name of...
Does
So we
anyone have
could,
a
like-
child's brain?
I used
That's like
to. I used to think that he looked like a. If you get, do you remember Wish back in the day before it's now like Temu?
Temu.
Yeah. I used to think that Jack Chambers is Tom Cruise if you order him off Wish.
Yeah.
Or like if you get a Tom Cruise impersonator for your birthday or something.
Yeah. Is your microphone on? Okay, cool.
The other thing I love about
What?
Temu is that, like, in each village, I say village, in China it'd be like a city of 15 million people. And the city only does that one thing. Like, have you ever read about the village and all they do is make, like, Santa dolls?
Really?
It's like 15 million people. And the river runs red.
And they all live in the same house.
And they love it. And they all fuck each other.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, like they all fuck each other while watching each other fuck
Yeah.
each other. Taking what's it?
There's one big long line.
Yeah.
Zainab, can you tell me,
Yes.
is there any way
Yeah.
to get that speaker bar there
Yeah.
and plug it in to this?
I think you can, but you would need. Do you have an outlet for the yoke? I can't remember the name of the cable now. But would you have an outlet for it?
I'm just going to keep leaning. I think we're just going to have to keep
We're just
leaning.
gonna have to keep leaning. Keep leaning.
Keep the show going.
Fuck it. All right, let's hear from our rural correspondent, Donnie McGee. I'm going to turn off the microphone first and allow James to come over here and press his fucking ear.
Hello lads, Donny McGee here. Just a little update there because the nephew told me the last one very well, so I thought it's in general the one there that if you don't remember now, the farmer just outside of Macroom to only have a small enough farm there, a couple of thousand acres, you know. But I'd also be a small business owner and a volunteer guard now. The guards wouldn't know about that necessarily, but sometimes when something's a civil matter and they won't leave the property, you need to take things into your own hands, and I'll say nothing more on that now. But I just thought I'd give you an update there about how Christmas went and how I was getting on, and I'll tell you now, it was a good, quiet old Christmas now. I'll tell you one thing that happened though. I have a small accounting firm I started now in the last 2 years. Nice little learner now, but it's just me and one other fella. Cash in hand, you know. I wouldn't be putting it through the books now because you'd be killed with PRSI and all that stuff. But and I wouldn't really know how to do the paperwork either. But anyway, a nice little accounting firm, and the lad working under me now, I'll tell you, didn't he ask for Christmas off? He asked for Christmas off, and he asked for it off on Christmas Eve to make it. Could you ever hear the likes of it now? Christmas Eve, he comes into me and goes, "Oh, my son's very sick. I don't know if he'll ever make a Christmas at all, or this might be his last one. Is there any chance there that I could have the day off?" And I said to him, "Yeah, I'm very sorry, no, Bob. Very sorry, Bobby, but you've been rostered on now for months, and I have my own plans. So I'm sorry now. I'm gonna have to put my foot down and say, fucking ship up or shape up." And sure, to be fair to him now, he did it. He stuck to it. He worked Christmas Day. Did I lose any sleep over it? No, I didn't. I didn't have a few queer dreams now. All right, ghosts of future, ghosts of past, ghosts of Tashima turning up. All these lads, but. At the end of the day, I just told them all, listen, he was rostered on. he was rostered on, and they all said, "Oh, fair enough then. If he's rostered on, there's not much you can do." No, I didn't have anything planned for Christmas myself, so I slept in, didn't do much, and I actually ended up going in the same day. Believe it or not, I did. I thought, sure, there's nothing, fucking no one home now since Maura left. So I ended up going in, believe it or not, and I shouldn't have bothered because I went in, wasn't he bawling, crying? Son died that morning. Sure, fucking, when you think about it, it was good for him to work.
Forgot to turn the mics back on. Thank you, Donny.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm sure I'm don't know how to do the stream. I don't know how to do
the mics
anything.
are off when we listen to the things, so you can't hear us laughing.
Yeah,
but we are
you
laughing.
see us laughing. You can see James leaning over.
You can see my armpit.
You can see him getting tired. You can see him.
I do feel for the small farmers out there. It is hard for them. And it's good to see them picking up new strands of work. It does remind me of the time when someone asked for Adcar.
Yeah.
What do you think of
Tiny Tim?
And he said he should get a job.
Yeah.
And he wasn't joking.
I think he was joking.
What?
I think he was joking. Not even Vradker would be like, a little child should get a job.
He kissed a little child. Didn't he?
I think you're confusing him with Joe Biden.
No, Vradker saw the video.
You're confusing him with Sinn Féin. Okay, so
he's like, stop kissing me and get back to work.
Stop kissing me.
Farmers hate paperwork. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah, no, I do know that. They really do resent it.
Is it because they can't read or write?
Oh, come on now.
I'm just asking the questions.
It's a fair question, Gareth.
Yeah.
We're actually a pro-farmer podcast, so I don't really
No, we're not.
appreciate this.
If they could read, they'd be coded. You know what I mean? If they could read, they'd be podcasts. But instead, they're
Yeah, how come?
They'd be reading articles off of the Irish Times using the bypass paywall clean, and they'd know how to download that as well. Yeah. And then they'd be just reading paragraphs of it, and then every so often going, get a load of fucking.
What the fuck?
David McWilliams? What a fucking fool, you know?
That is so obviously wrong. I'm not even going to say why it's wrong.
I tried to have an organic reaction, so I didn't read it. I didn't think about it. I have no response to it, you know?
How come we don't have any, everyone has a podcast now, okay? How come we don't have any farmer-specific podcasts? Because they can't read or write or understand anything.
Actually, I do. Farmers do have sort of like a weird shadow version of reality. I remember looking at it. I saw a farmer's phone once, and I swear to God, he had an app. And this is real. I was looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's called Milked In.
Milked In?
I swear to God.
But anyway,
and then he tried to hook me up to the milking machine.
And then I realised he wasn't a farmer, he was a fucking Israeli. Oh,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
You went there.
No, that's a bit too far now. Come on.
So, we need to be balanced. So, Tim Philosophy says hello, and I want to say, Tim, if you're just joining us now, the stream has been really chaotic. The visuals are awful. The sound is good, people are telling me.
Yeah.
I had to do it the lowest possible fucking quality just to get the thing out there. But hope you enjoy. Bobby G. Ballymore says, Vradker kissed my young lad on the lips.
He did.
And then Enda says, unless he doesn't want to be named, in which case it's another person, just with the username, just because he didn't put his name. He says, my dad used to make the kids do the farming paperwork because he hated it so much. Lol.
Really?
So we actually do have a farmer, or the son of a farmer.
Salute to the troops.
It's like
and the paperwork was like, draw what animals you have. Make what noise does your
the
low frame rate? But I haven't figured out the frame. Look, I'm sorry, I'll have to do that. That'll be another time.
Next year, yeah.
It might even be like what happens is we go into the new year, and then I stop the stream for a bit. Correct the no.
I think we're just in it.
We're in it now.
Trying to get a countdown for the year.
Yeah,
Alright.
because I got 3 minutes.
When you say countdown, do you mean a countdown of top 10 things that happen? Okay, next
Just so we know when New Year's is.
All right.
Yeah. It's the fun.
It's 3 minutes to on my clock.
Does anyone have any resolutions for the new year?
Me now?
I said anyone.
Okay, so you're talking about the chat, are you or no?
I'm talking.
Literally anyone. I have I have like a bunch. Can I say them? Okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Okay. I need to get a new job because I hate my job.
Whoa, okay.
What?
Just saying, like,
Makes Gareth nervous.
don't want to be. Both of you are determined to get fired from your jobs by putting it out there. I fucking hate it, and I'd leave in a heartbeat. And then they're like, interesting.
Maybe I'm just using reverse psychology.
Yeah, all right.
To reverse psychology myself into loving my job.
Some people have jobs you can't get fired from.
Yeah.
Ever thought of that?
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
1 minute 23 seconds.
What else?
Gareth, resolution.
Do I have a resolution? I get a job. You were like, lose my job, get a job. That's what
I want to get a new job. I didn't say lose my job. Okay, so like I'm just gonna move from one job to another job.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the countdown at?
1 minute.
1 minute.
No, 50 seconds.
Oh my good God, my giddy aunt.
So in 2024, we're leaving behind Bad Energy, Fintan O'Toole, Sarah Preisner, making fun of millennial women.
Yeah, no, that's what we're gonna vow never to make fun of millennial women ever again, unless it's like Emer Higgins. Is she millennial?
Yeah. So now the podcast is going to be 20 minutes long.
Well, technically we're leaving Leo Varadkar because now he's
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the seconds like?
18.
All right, well, we got 8 seconds to wait for
Varadkar's
10
most
seconds.
hated number. Seven, 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, everybody! Happy New Year! We did it.
Play the song. Play the song.
I'm doing it. I just need to turn off the microphone.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
And we're back. Zainab's gone, and we're back.
Thank you, Miles Manley.
Thank you, Miles Manley, pop star.
Yeah.
Never stop, never stopping. Probably the weakest Lonely Island movie, in my humble opinion. Out
Probably
of the two.
What's the other one?
Hot Rod.
You are so wrong. It's not even funny.
I'm trying to think of some line from Hot Rod that I can say.
Never stop. Political.
Yeah.
Funny. Music. You know what I mean?
Can you all hear the fireworks going on outside? And there's people on their balconies across the way with sparklers and drinks, and we're here just like having sweated for like the whole day and fucked up the one thing that
we hold dear to our heart.
Yeah, which we love, our listeners.
And our side, my annual thing of sending a Happy New Year's to my family chat.
Oh fuck!
And no one responded.
No one responds, really? I see my mum is
they tend to be asleep.
Okie dokie.
Dee 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 dee. So now we have some good predictions. We have more reminiscences about the 2024.
Yeah.
But it might be good to do some predictions. from a certain Fintan O'Toole.
No, that was the other thing we were gonna say. Well, no, sorry, this isn't Fintan O'Toole. This is the Ligers predictions for 2025.
Yes.
So do you want to read from the list that we wrote?
Yeah. Here's the list. I just always think when it comes to predicting the future, you might as well ask an astrologer as a rational expert.
Yeah. Yeah, we were really on one when we wrote this list, actually, weren't we?
I thought about making some predictions for 2025, and then I had a look at a detailed report drawn up in 2008 by someone else, and it wasn't very good. So here are the predictions. I actually don't think this is Fintan making these predictions.
No?
I think this is satire.
Is he doing a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like he's retiring.
Here are 10 confident predictions about 2025 made at various points by serious experts.
Okay.
All of them wrong. The EU will have broken up by 2025.
Yeah, you really showed them, brother.
It's all going well.
I love that, like, the EU is, like, in one of the most difficult and tumultuous times it's ever been in its entire existence, I would say.
Yeah.
They would have, like, you know, I would say COVID, Israel, the recession, the Greek debt crisis, Brexit, the, you know, Syrian refugee crisis. Like, there's a many variety of things.
Pedophilia crisis.
Yeah, but that's one thing where you know.
There's also the fact that, like, in Poland, you know, you can't be gay anymore in certain parts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hungary, it's like, you know, do you remember when they went, there was a black footballer who went over with, I don't know football, sorry, but went over with the Irish team and he was going to be playing and they took the knee and then the entire Hungarian football stadium just booed him.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's all these things, it's like, but they're like, Boris Johnson tried his best and now look at them out in the cold and they're not able to trade or do shit. And actually the EU is stronger than ever. And it's like, okay, whatever you think, man.
One of the important things about, you know, if you studied history in Leaving Cert, what did you get in the Leaving Cert again, Garth?
Actually, I mean, I know I have no idea.
I'm only pulling your leg. But, you know, there were supposed to be 3 strands of EU. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money. You listening?
My dad rang me. I'm listening, though.
Money.
Yeah.
Free travel. And sort of liberal bullshit policy. You know what I mean? Like values.
Yeah.
And they kept the money. We're now all in the pocket of Germany. We're using the Mark 3.0.
Yeah.
So that's still going strong. But then we're getting rid of free travel, like migrants aren't able to go around the place.
No.
And then, sure, the COVID lockdowns.
Yeah.
And then...
But the whole thing with the vaccines as well. I mean, don't
get me started on the vaccines, man.
But wasn't there, like, you know, the whole thing, like, I'm ignorant about this, but I remember at the time it was like Bill Gates would be like, no, like, we need to, lift the patents on the vaccines. No, absolutely not. We can't do that. The whole thing in the EU was like everywhere else, like the halls of power, which is hold the fucking line, okay?
Yeah.
We'll give some little bits and pieces, trinkets, but we were taking them away and they're not coming back. And in fact, that's the reason why inflation is up. It's because you were too greedy during COVID and all this, you know?
But my point is that there's not free travel.
Yeah.
Free movement. And then the other one was like the values. And now we're just seeing like EU countries adopt whatever right-wing values they want.
Yeah.
So like, Fintan O'Toole's been like, oh, it's such bullshit to think that the EU would break up.
Yeah.
And by 2025, where actually the EU is not in a particularly good state.
No.
It's just becoming like a more and more fascist place to be.
Well, I thought you were like, one time you were saying you had a really horrible experience with the Irish healthcare system, and it was like, oh, the healthcare system is on its knees and it's about to collapse, and you're like, maybe it has collapsed, and this is what it looks like. It's like people are still getting paid to go in, but it's like, well, what does the EU actually do? You know, if like you're saying, if it can't do any of these things, then it seems kind of like it's a bunch of people, as usual, going into a room wearing suits, writing speeches and then nothing much is really accomplished.
Number 2, we will all be living in a world augmented virtual reality.
Right.
He says that didn't happen.
That he knows about, you know.
But hey,
did he see a little film called Matrix, the fourth one? Can't remember the subtitle for
the
that.
trans one.
That one. The one where they didn't. I remember the other thing that was annoying about it was that they didn't get fucking Hugo Weaving back.
Hugo Weave, as you'd say.
That was a funny one because it was like trying to make it out like I was racist, and then you ended up becoming more racist because you're getting fixated on things that wouldn't have even occurred to me.
I'm always fixated on race. You know, some people say they don't see race. I only see race. I also do think we live in a world of virtual reality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Think about it. Next time you're trying to fuck someone.
Ooh, firework.
Like a woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You download an app.
Yeah.
Get the app on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just... Well, by the time you see a picture, you're done. Do you know what I mean?
You're like choosing the woman and then it's like... Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
Number 3.
I'm too tired now. Fuck this.
We will all be ashamed of our carbon footprints.
What? So that would happen this year?
That's what he's saying won't happen.
He's saying won't happen in 2025.
These are all things that won't happen.
And he's like, yeah, then nobody will give a shit about the environment. I was like, motherfucker, you love the EU. Shut the fuck up. You don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know when you like, I love the institutions, and then it's like, and then all you out there who refuse carbon taxes, you just don't care about the environment, and you're like, fuck off. You don't care. Like,
I think people also do care, or at least they care in a trendy way. Didn't someone try to kill Taylor Swift because she flew an airplane or something?
Probably. Sounds like something that would happen.
Is there anyone in chat saying anything?
Neil Patrick Harris X for The Matrix. Do you remember he was in The Matrix 4?
No.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did I hate that? Anyway, whatever. I could get into it. I don't want to talk about that. Matthew Talon says Year of the Liger.
Please God, yeah.
Please God, tell your friends, and maybe we'll be able to buy a rig. That
And if we had a rig, critical thinking about technology will have made great advances.
Say again? I don't get that. What does that mean?
He's saying that it's laughable.
Yeah.
So all these are things that he thinks haven't happened.
Right.
It's like, in the past someone made this prediction.
Right.
And it's laughable to think that could have happened.
This is that type of writing that we're always going on about, which is like, what's your one, Miriam Lord?
Yeah.
Like, and I was back and my dad was reading this bit out and it was like, oh, she's very good though. And I was like, she's actually not. She's really bad. And it was like,
yeah.
You know, it's that thing where it's like, you can't win or lose, is it? There's like a kind of like, no, it's a type of writing that's meant to be shit whenever you give out about it.
Yeah.
And then when it's good, it's actually very funny. So like he's doing one of those, the typical Irish columnist type thing where it's a joke that doesn't entirely make sense and it's like, it's just a bit of a laugh. Come on, like, you know, come on. It's a joke, like.
So he's saying it's laughable to think that by 2025 critical thinking about technology will have made great advances.
Okay. Well, next one. That's stupid. It doesn't.
No, I think that is wrong. As in, people do think more critically about technology.
But I don't know what he wants. Because, like, again, Fintan O'Toole to me is the type of guy who, like, we need to take very seriously about AI. I mean, there's definitely real world capabilities, but at the moment it's just, and I was like, I just think AI is stupid and all the people flogging it are like con men and hacks.
Yeah.
And so this idea of like, what does he mean by technology? Does it go into that? Probably he does. But like, he's like, oh, people, what I mean to say is that I thought that he idolized these people and yet he's going like, they won't get critical about the tech guys. It was like, but you love the tech guys. You're a West Brit Irishman, you know? Like,
he's saying there's no sign of this in our age of rampant disinformation.
fuck, this is it. This is it. He's not talking about AI. He's not talking about people like Elon Musk, where it's like, oh, I'm just such a genius. And then people go like, actually, maybe these guys who control so much of our lives aren't actually geniuses.
Yeah.
He's actually going like, no, they should be critical about how they're using all of their genius for nefarious ends.
Number 5, carbon capture will solve the climate crisis. I don't think there is a crisis of climate.
Yeah, so next one. No, but what was it? So he thinks that again, I'm losing the track of like why. So he thinks that like people need to wake up and realize that we need to create new technologies to solve the climate crisis.
I guess so.
Well, that's stupid. Next one.
Technological innovations will deliver quick, cheap healthcare to everyone by 2025.
So we need to forget that will happen.
No.
Okay. I'm not following.
So he's saying,
yeah,
isn't it funny, right, that in the past, someone said that by 2025, technological innovations will deliver quick, cheap healthcare to everyone by 2025.
But is that a good thing or a bad thing in his
He's
mind?
just saying it's funny that we thought it.
What is like? I'm so glad he's retiring. Honestly.
He's just saying it's funny, man.
Like, imagine this is like his last article. He's like going out on a high and a little funny, like one that makes you think. It makes you laugh.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just this incomprehensible. Like, it might as well be the fucking. Who's that chap with the thing? You know, Ted Cruz's dad was this chap, the Zionist killer.
Zodiac killer.
What's his name?
The Zodiac killer.
The Zodiac killer.
It's better than getting your rocks off with a girl. That was in the letters, I believe.
I bet. Number 7, there will be a referendum on a united Ireland.
Yeah, idiots, fools. I love that he's like, you know, people are so stupid for thinking that would happen. It was like, yeah, but like, whose fault is that hasn't happened?
Yeah, John. Do you know that Hume?
Yeah.
What was his first name?
John.
David.
John Hume. Yeah.
He wanted he wanted a referendum on in like 2000.
Yeah.
And Tony Blair told him to fuck off.
Yeah. So John Hume is a fucking idiot if he thought that was going to happen by 2025, you fucking bitch.
Do you hear that story? I don't know if I want to say the guy's name, but someone who we both know was in a play in Derry.
Okay, yeah.
And they were doing the play, and then John Hume came in. But, you know, he had dementia.
Okay.
And he started heckling.
That's funny.
And he was just like, what do I do?
You just have to power through, you know.
Yeah.
Well, light through yonder. Fucking shut up. Window breaks, you know.
Number 8, homelessness in Ireland will be on its way to being eradicated.
Nobody said that. People said that it should be happening, but
I think what it would be the homeless in Ireland are on their way to being eradicated.
Yeah.
So they fucking ran over one with the tractor.
Yeah.
Number 9, artificial intelligence will have made us all rich beyond, and that's true.
Yeah.
Tell me this. You're broke.
Well,
You're
no, but I'm also losing again.
You're broke as hell.
Yeah.
Do you have a smartphone?
You got me there. Yeah, I do have a smartphone.
Do you have a laptop?
A fucking piece of shit that can't do a stream right.
Do you have Teams?
Look at these. Anyway, I get distracted by it. Please stop pointing out all the things in my life that I hate right now.
And number 10, and this one would make you laugh.
Well, just for the AI thing, what was his thoughts on that? Negative, positive?
Artificial intelligence will have made us all rich.
Yeah.
I can't stress it. I can't stress it.
Paragraph or no?
Yeah,
right.
But it's just quotes.
By what?
From the person who made the prediction.
Shut up.
So he's not commenting on any of this. Artificial intelligence will have made us all rich. Here's another thing. You know, back in like the past.
Okay.
When they were kings. Only the kings could afford harems.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Of like nubile young women.
Yeah.
Whereas now we can get that up on our laptops whenever we like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Like Pinkerton and Micheál Martin, just going, back in the day, you wouldn't be able to fucking jack it off. But now you'd be on the bus. You have your phone. You have your thing in your pocket. So I don't think it's fair to say that things are worse than they've ever been before.
You could pull up Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. You could pull up... try to imagine somebody he would fucking... things that he likes. Muhammad Ali, for some reason.
Yeah, he fucking loves Muhammad.
You can have Pam Grier up anytime you like.
Who's that?
She was like a blaxploitation actress.
Yeah, you would say that. Or like some black porn star from the 60s. Yeah. I used to have to... I wore my videotape out.
You're going, some black porn star from the 60s. Oh, fucking...
Number 10.
Yeah.
Get ready to laugh, chat.
All right.
Are they laughing?
There's like, I don't know. I can't even today. All right.
Trump is finished.
Yeah, he's like, idiots that thought that.
The future of the Republican Party belongs to
Donald Trump.
Ron DeSantis.
Oh, yeah. That was funny, wasn't it? That was a huge thing. People were like, Ron DeSantis is gonna... And then he's like... And they were like... And then the more they're exposed to him, they realize that he's a big weirdo. And then it was like... There's nothing but weirdos in there. I don't know why Ron DeSantis is the weirdo that is too far for them.
Yeah. He was freaky looking. And then he grew that beard.
Yeah.
We play Blinds.
Let's do it. Blaheen's actually gone, so she won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. Is this going to turn into a podcast and go out?
Let's just play it.
Let's fucking go, man. We're going to go until all of these videos are done, okay? Now, I'm going to turn off the mics and we're going to switch over to Blaheen de Burke's contribution. Thank you, Blaheen.
Hello, Ligers. Thanks so much for doing the call out and then both of you separately getting in touch with me to tell me that I should do one of these. I really appreciate it because it means that you want to hear from me as much as I want to hear from me, which is lots. I do just want to hear my voice on your podcast at this stage because I love the podcast and I love the sound of my own voice. It's me, Blaheen de Burke, by the way, if that wasn't abundantly obvious from all of that egotistical nonsense. Yeah, the thing is, it was so hard to think of like what I want to ask or what I want you guys to discuss because the problem is the world is on fire. Everything is so awful. And I really didn't want to be a big old Debbie Downer. You've already got Gareth. But I do think, it's still going to be dark. It's still going to be a fucking horrifically dark question, but I'm going to try and spice it up with some humor and hopefully you guys will be able to inject some more into it. The question very simply is, are there any men that are okay? Are there any men that are trustworthy? This is coming off the back of the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing. I mean, Justin Baldoni literally made a whole career out of like being, the non-toxic man or the man that is, questioning and challenging his own toxic masculinity and behaviour and then trying to change it around to others. Had a whole podcast about being like this massive feminist and how lovely he is to his wife and all this stuff, and constantly the feminist agenda, the male feminist classic, but in a way where he had me fooled even. And I'm so ready to not trust men, especially the ones that say that you should trust them. Or horrific Giselle Pellicot thing where it's like your literal husband who lives in your home with you for 50 years and who you have babies with. He can't be trusted either, nor can all of the men in the local vicinity that have access to a computer. and the internet. So yeah, all of that's really, really depressing and sad and scary. And I know that like short answer is no. But since you are two of the only men that I do trust in the entire world, and even then, I know that you're probably both serial killers. Oh my God, that'd be so cute if you guys did that together. Cute little group activity. This is how men bond. Yeah, question is, what would, if you had to devise a test, foolproof test, to see whether a man is an actual feminist or just weaponizing feminism, or if you guys had to come up with an actual test of like, you know, whether, yeah, because there isn't one, you know, that's the problem. It could be anyone. It is everybody. That, etc., etc., etc. So the sad answer is no. But yeah, you guys have to come up with like a jaunty little, like cutesy little feminist test. Good luck, Godspeed. Thank you so much for all of your help. Obviously, the last thing and only thing that needs to be said about this year is Luigi Mangione, call me. Okay, bye. Great love to you both. Happy New Year. Gra gra gra. Slan.
Happy New Year, Blahin. That's from Blahin. So the three things. Well, first of all, Luigi Mangione, respect, good.
Yeah, what did you call him earlier? Luigi Spaghetti.
Luigi Spaghetti and Luigi Mansion. They were very funny. Then the other question was a test that we could devise for men to weed out the toxic ones, and then it was answered by herself.
What did she say?
Impossible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because I was like, I was actually friends with Davy Riley, so you know.
I think as well. Didn't Lennon have a thing where he was like if you're in the middle of the revolution and you're with a middle class guy,
yeah,
or like a capitalist or whatever, and he has to go up some other capitalist's head,
yeah,
to start the revolution, he's not going to do it.
Yeah,
like he will fail at the last minute.
Yeah,
and I think that's true of men.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like there is no sufficient test.
No.
To show that men are feminists. You also shouldn't trust any man who calls himself a feminist.
No, absolutely.
I think that's very fair to say.
Yeah.
You also shouldn't trust a man who talks about his wife too much.
I don't know about that one. I don't know what that means. Is that like an old wives' tale thing? Is it? No, probably not wife. It's probably he's probably talking about his fucking wife.
A bloke's tale.
But no, I completely agree. What's to be done? And we don't know.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, it's like with all these people, you know, women had like ways of disseminating information about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then men didn't listen.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I don't think there is a test. There was a test, though. I think it would be like if a guy cut his dick off or something.
Yeah. That's why whenever you see those guys, remember Louis Theroux had some thing where he was like, I went to like a prison and this guy's like, yeah, I got myself chemically castrated because I just don't trust myself or like myself.
Yeah.
You know? It's probably like, you know, it's probably, I mean, it's still watching him, probably.
It's still, just in case he started doing it like intellectually. You know?
No, I don't know what to do. Do I need to know what to do? I don't know. I'm not like
because part of like the issue is that it's like, I mean, it obviously would be an issue that men aren't feminists or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like the world was constructed, the system that we live in was constructed by men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you're always going to get men committing violence against women. But it's the fact that we have a system that doesn't bring them to justice.
Yeah.
You know? Because it was made by men in support of men.
Yeah, I mean, earlier this year with Kyle Karate and what he did to...
Yeah, and then the judge was like,
And And then they found out there was like, oh, I think a bunch more people in the army are doing this, and then they found out they were, and they were like, okay, well, let's just back away from that.
They've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
There's been like a sexual violence scandal in the army for years, and nothing has done about it.
Yeah.
Because like the army is such a like a classic example.
Yeah.
Of like a patriarchal system. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to like.
Are they cutting the dick off?
Yeah.
Or. Like living as a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good, wouldn't it? Sitting down to piss.
Makes you think. Gives you time as well to think.
I'd never sit down to piss.
I'm about that life now. But I don't really. I feel like I have to go more often now as I've done it. My whole thing is that
you
like
get more UTIs.
I have like undiagnosed but definite OCD. Can you confirm that there are certain things that I do that are obsessive and compulsive?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, the point is that when it comes to anything to do with the toilet, I'm just like need to wash my hands about 10 million times, all that sort of stuff. So when it comes to like when I'm like thinking about, oh, you're standing up to piss and then it's all going everywhere, it's splashing off the person, it's going into the I don't know what it is. I'm just like, no, I'm gonna sit down and then guess what? Like I live in that way, lift up the toilet seat, the piss is going underneath the toilet seat now as well. The piss goes everywhere. There's no avoiding it. Yeah. Anyway, this is all just to say that that's why I started pissing. That's toxic masculinity because I felt like I had to need to explain why I'm fucking sitting down to piss.
You do.
And it had to not be like, I had to be like, actually it's for like mental health. Yeah. Men have mental health, okay?
Yeah. But I think you just verified the fact that if a man sits down to piss, he's crazy. He's insane.
Yeah. So...
What?
You don't want to know.
What?
Somebody called Bobby G. Ballymore says James should try your hand washing thing.
I do wash my hands.
It was just like we know, just immediately exposing who it is in the chat.
Yeah.
But what was it? Yeah. So we intellectually attempted to answer the question honestly. And then we put some fucking humor in there, and did we solve the problem? I think we did. So 2025
year of the
misogyny
woman.
Over, year of the woman, year of the liger, year of the female liger. Am I right? Imagine.
Imagine how sexy that thing would be.
All right, should we put on another one, or what do you want to?
16.
Will I put on another one, or what?
Yes.
Now, what we do next, we have that out of the way. We put on Shane Clifford.
Comedian Shane Clifford.
All right, I'm going to mute the mics.
Hi, Ligers. How are you? Shane Clifford here, world famous stand-up comedian and raconteur. And here are my cultural and political highlights of 2024. Now, I know you're a political podcast primarily, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not really into politics. It's not something that affects my life in any way or shape or form. But I did vote in the last election in Ireland, and I didn't know who to choose because I don't know anything about politics, so I just picked Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. Hopefully that works out. Hopefully that doesn't annoy you too much. But apart from that, my cultural highlight of the year, I'm a big cinephile, which is French for I like movies. And my favorite cinematic experience of the year was going to see Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, which is a film that Francis Ford Coppola, director of The Godfathers, The Conversation, Apocalypse Now, Jack. It was his passion project. He spent 40 years trying to get it made. Spent 80 million of his own money, his own hard-earned cash from his own bank account, because nobody else wanted to make it. And I went to see it, and you can see why no one else wanted to make it, because it was horrible for most of it. It was badly acted, badly written, bad to look at, horrible to look at. Some terrible CGI, horrible actors, Jon Voight, fucking Shia LaBeouf, absolutely woeful. There were parts in it that were supposed to be funny and no one laughed. And then there were parts that were supposed to be not funny and everyone laughed. I went to see it in IMAX, surrounded by 10 people, I would say, in the whole screening, 5 of whom probably walked out. And even though it was bewildering to watch this film, that a master could make something that looked so horrible, it moved me, because the fact that a master of the art could spend his own money to make something that was so unprofitable, so weird, spend 80 million in a world where stand-up comedians are doing ads on Instagram and everything, every piece of art is commoditized for likes, shares, and ad revenue. The fact that someone believed in their own art so much that they spent all of their money, it's gone bankrupt, to put it up on the big screen because they believed in it, made me feel good about the humanity for about 4 seconds, until I came home and started scrolling through TikTok, and I realized, no, it's an aberration. Humanity is fucked. So that is my cultural and political highlight of the year. I hope you have a good 2024 or 2025. Fuck. God bless you all, and God bless Jesus. Torah.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Shade. I turned on the microphones for a split second, but then I realized that it could be picked up, so I started to be like, ah, shit. What if there's a delay and all this?
Yeah.
So then when I heard Megalopolis, my heart lifted. Then when I heard he said it was shit.
First of all, Fine Gael.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, Shane, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, I'm really annoyed now, you know.
No. Sure, who else has run the country? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've been there the longest, right? I saw some of them run it. Sure.
Have you seen Megalopolis?
Yeah.
I love Megalopolis. I felt like, you know the experience you have the first time you ever see a film?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Why is it over? It's very long. No, like, I have such mixed feelings about it. I think everything that Shane said is true, and the money certainly does help, but like people are awfully hard on it. They're like, oh, it's silly and it doesn't make sense and it looks quite bad, and then I'm just kind of like, I don't think it looks that bad.
It looked incredible, and it was. I wouldn't call it silly. I call it fascist.
Yeah, there's a lot of. He wrote up a big list of the movies that inspired him for it, and I mean, I don't know if you call this fascistic, but like, what's it? The one Ayn Rand's,
Triumph of the Will.
Fountainhead, I think it was, that he said.
Nuremberg Rally.
Yeah. Well, I like, it looked like a perfume ad, is what I thought. You know,
that's what was so cool. It was like a 5-hour perfume ad, and like the scene that was like what I liked most about it. It had held irreconcilable views.
Yes.
Most filmmakers aren't brave enough to do that.
Yeah.
So like you had it was like, we need one strong leader to bring back the values of Rome.
Yeah.
Which is literally like a fascist take.
Yeah.
And he has a scene where he's like staring at the crying statue. And then at the end, the closing monologue is like, we need debate.
Yeah.
It's like, those two things, you can't exist in the same system.
Like, there was multiple contradictions, and then it was like, every line seemed to be like...
Every line was an essay.
Yeah, every line was completely independent of one another. Like, so let's say somebody says more than 2 lines in something. The first line they said and the second line they said have absolutely no relationship to each other. And then it keeps going. And then the other thing is that, like, I heard he was like waiting to make it for like 40 years, and so he had it. And also, there's a very sweet part of it where he's like, oh, I wish my wife had seen it, but she died before it was. I think she maybe saw a rough cut or something.
Yeah.
But she died, and then she's got her name in the credits. And then there's another part of it that's very sweet, which is spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
At the end, you know, where it's like, you know, hey, the kids are our future, basically.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, that's real corny. And it's like, you're talking about like this old man who made like these brutal films like The Godfather, The Conversation, all this type of thing. And then even like Godfather 3, where it's like the death of Michael Corleone, where you see like just this tragedy. Just the idea of him going like, no, we're gonna go out in a positive, because he's like, this might be the last film I ever made. I'm going to put in everything that I've thought of for the past 40 years into this.
I feel like you could, you know, the way like you could completely reconstruct his brain from watching that film. I also loved, like, you know, there's a scene where the kid shoots the guy.
Yeah.
That really surprised me, because I was in such a state of, like, in any other film, you'd see that coming a mile away.
Yeah.
But I was in such a state of disorientation.
Yeah,
that when the kid shot him, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, like, that was the thing about the film that I kind of was like, so you're starting off, you're leaning in, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to pay attention, and then the movie is like bucking you. It's like, no, you're not going to do it. And then I'm just like, where am I? I'm tired. I want to go. Is it nearly over? Where's it going? What's happening? What's going to fucking... And then you kind of... Stuff like that, then you just accidentally end up like tapping into something that's happening in it, and like you are struck by stuff where it's like, this is visual, this is interesting, this is bad, this is good. There's just like massive like big swings, big contradictions, big heightened emotions, you know?
Even like its relationship to time.
Yeah.
Like you have... Obviously your man can... can he stop time?
I mean, but like
who knows?
I found that was funny because somebody goes, "Oh, it said he had the power to stop time, and he only uses it twice throughout the movie." And I felt like this was a cinephile saying this, but they sound like a Marvel fan, where it's like, "Oh, yeah, actually, he had the power to stop time the entire." And I was like, "That's not the real point of it, is it?"
But
you know?
could he actually stop time?
He did it once or twice.
But as in, you know, Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
You know the way Zach Morris used to be able to stop time.
Yeah.
But it was just like a device.
A device, yeah. I think it was a device. I think it was just something
But could he stop time? Like, was in the film?
Yeah.
Did he stop time?
I know he stopped it once or twice, but I'm just saying that, like, did it have consequence to the plot? Did it mean anything? Did it come back? No, it didn't. But
like, did that character?
Yeah.
Not to belabor.
Yeah.
Have the power to stop time?
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, can I say one thing? Well, sorry. On one of the movies on the list, because when he stopped time, I was like, oh, that's funny, because it reminded me of the kind of Randy and stuff, and also the kind of Great Man. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, it reminded me of the Hudsucker Proxy. And then, wouldn't you know it, that's on one of his lists.
Really?
So in the Hudsucker Proxy, it's a Coen Brothers movie from 1990 or the early, maybe 94. And there's a bit where, spoiler alert, and this one we could spoil, this guy jumps off of a building, okay?
Ooh.
And he's gonna die. And then basically these, like, the embodiment of good and the embodiment of evil are having some sort of battle. And they're doing it in a clock tower, and they manage to stop the clock so that just as he gets to the end, he stops. He doesn't, you know. And I was like, that's just what happened in the Francis Ford Coppola. But it was interesting because, like, Francis Ford Coppola had a career that far, like, predated the Coen Brothers, and particularly this not very memorable. I mean, it's a really, I like it as a movie, but it was just interesting that, like, because you're asking, like, but could he stop time? And I was like, well, the reason he's like stopping time is because it happened in that movie. Yeah, it was almost referencing. And anyway, it's a whole big mess. But like the idea of going like, I'm going to the big fucking cinema, the IMAX cinema in London, okay?
Yeah.
And you can go see Gladiator 2, or you can see Megalopolis.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, I just find that of course, there's always going to be something that's incredibly charming and endearing about that, you know?
But the other thing about time though, is that the time within the film felt completely malleable.
Yes.
And like you had there was an insane bit. There was a scene where Morpheus is driving the car. Yeah. And then your man in the back is like, I don't know, we have time, so something like that.
Yeah.
And then Morpheus is like, oh, funny thing, time. You can buy time, but you can't sell it. You can catch it, but you can't lose it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Cuts away, loads of other stuff happens. Cuts back, and he's still coming up with like metaphors. He's like, you can keep it in a clock, you know, but it can't get out. It's like, has he been doing that the whole time? The whole drive? Like,
Yeah.
just thinking about time.
I liked, I liked seeing John Voight. I don't know if he was good or bad. I don't think he did anything to make an
who
impression.
was good or bad in that
Well,
film?
I thought, here's the thing, people go, oh, Shia LaBeouf was shit. I thought Shia LaBeouf was good. I liked him.
I thought everyone agreed he was good.
No, every review that I've read says he fucking sucks, he's hammy, let's get rid of him.
It was crazy the way, out of any of the characters, his character was the Trump
Yeah.
metaphor. Like,
That was so
why
funny.
him?
What was it? Was it make Megalopolis grey again? And then the other thing was like, and here's a swastika, and here's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, the fucking Star of David or something. You're just like, what is going on? You know, it's just
Yeah. I also loved how your man dies,
yeah,
Adam Driver, and then he comes back and he has like,
a weird crystal face for like 2 minutes, and then he's gone.
and then he can use it to like hypnotize people.
Yeah,
And then it's no one ever mentions it again.
yeah,
And it's like, well, that's how life is.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Trump gets shot. And
That
then,
is true. That's so funny.
And then
that
no one
happened
ever
the same
mentions it again.
year. Yeah,
And like, loads of things that you think are going to be really impactful.
yeah.
It's like, why don't we ever use that? Or
Yeah.
why is that ever mentioned?
I do think Adam Driver, like now he's kind of pushing into a point where I was like, I used to thought Adam Driver was amazing because of Girls, and now I'm like,
Because girls, because
the TV show.
uh,
Yeah. I thought he was amazing because of Girls, and then I'm like, maybe he's terrible. Maybe he's really bad. I don't know whether he just wasn't given enough. Like,
I like
he just
the
had to make up what was happening. He's like, I don't know.
I just love the way he just has a punt.
Yeah,
Like, he was in Ferrari,
yeah.
and he's just playing an Italian guy.
Well, he's also playing an Italian guy in House of Gucci as well.
Yeah, or like, he does House of Bash.
Yeah, loves to work.
Loves
to work.
to work, just like you and me.
Yeah.
do.
Podcasting at what? Fucking nearly 1 a.m. A shitty stream. I better just like, I'm just going to send a very quick voice note to my family chat and let them know, because otherwise, what was the other thing I was going to say about that movie? I mean, you guys, I like, huh?
Bobby G. Ballymore says, cinephile is French for paedophile.
Yeah.
No objections here.
No.
Matthew
No.
Talon. I actually saw Megalopolis with Matthew Talon.
Oh, what do you think?
Me and Cian, and I remember we walked out of the cinema, we ran into a friend of ours,
Yeah.
and they were like, was it good? And we were like, I couldn't even tell you.
I don't even know. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what to think, but I know that, like, I left it, and we were kind of like angry, interested, tired, frustrated, bored, all these different things, and then we came out, and then we spent like the next week thinking and talking about it. So I think that it's worth it, and I like Shane said, putting his money where his mouth is, to like, you know, I mean, not many people have a fucking vineyard that they could like, you know, sell, but like, at the same time, like, nobody would, you know, Mr. Beast, where's his fucking Megalopolis?
Yeah, where's
huh?
Mr. Beans?
Where's Mr. Bean's Megalopolis? All right, let me just say, hello everybody. I'm on my family. I'm on the stream. This is being recorded as well as we speak. Sorry I couldn't pick up the phone, but I'm just podcasting, doing my job. I'm gonna actually delete that and start again. Hey everybody, sorry about that. Happy New Year. I'm on the live Twitch stream with James, who says Happy New Year as well. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, and so Happy New Year. I'll talk to you all properly. Love you loads. All right. Bye. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right. See ya. It's funny when even saying to my family, going like, love you, I have to do like, I love you.
Yeah.
Do a little jokey voice.
Yeah. You ironically love your mom. Let's play another clip.
Let's play another clip.
Clip.
So another clip. What we got? Okay, let's go to. Now this one's a long one. We go to a long one.
Yeah.
This one's a long one for our European correspondent, Kieran Dold. Hope I said that right.
Happy New Year, Ligers. This is Kieran from Cornish Beatty. I'm just going to give a kind of Europe update because that's all I'm fucking good for. What a year it's been on this stupid little part of the world. Let me see what I can remember. France just collapsed the government because Macron's an idiot and he basically pissed off everyone, including his former prime minister, Gabriel Attal, who's now just going to the press and telling the press all the slurs that Macron uses behind closed doors, including pede, I believe is the one, which is the homophobic slur that implies all gay people are pedophiles. So that's a fun one. Gabriel Attal is also a great guy. I love him because he's like the only person I know of who's prominent in politics who uses the app Be Real. If anyone remembers that fucking app. What else? Germany is just getting aggressively more fascist and racist and weaponizing anti-Semitism to be Islamophobic and also anti-Semitic. So that's great. Olaf Scholz has not met the moment. The only silver lining is that we kicked out the finance minister that we have over there, who's basically just a version of Simon Harris that really wanted to fuck himself. Oh god, what else? Bulgaria hasn't had a government for 2 to 3 years now at this point. Romania cancelled an election because a fascist TikTok star was about to become president, and then a bunch of armed men tried to storm the parliament over there. That was stopped. Beginning of the year, we had the prime minister of Slovakia. Not the beginning, this was spring. The prime minister of Slovakia was shot in the face by a guy who just liked to meet up with a couple of friends at a library and talk about poetry. So the motivation behind it is still incredibly unclear. But Robert Fico recovered from that, and then his first address to the nation after being shot in the face was to blame George Soros for all of it. Spain had those massive floods where a bunch of fascists tried to pretend that they were concerned citizens and basically attacked the prime minister with a shovel, I believe. What else is going on? I mean, that's all I can think of. Albania is still a fucking mafia state, and Italy is, silver lining, I guess. Italy is no longer Maloney is no longer efficiently racist enough, and might get booted out of parliament because all of her means of doing more institutional racism is just falling apart and not being very effective, which is not very, it's not a moral victory, really. But in turning back to Irish politics, I was asked what my favorite moment of Irish politics is, and for me, that is 100% got to be Agent Cobalt, which, if I'm remembering that name correctly, the supposed Russian asset in the doll, and mainly how that was a concern for 5 seconds, then it was dropped completely right before the election kind of started properly. Everyone was convinced it was whoever they didn't like. If you went online, you'd be people who were anti-Fine Gael were convinced it was Fine Gael. People who were anti-Sinn Féin were convinced it was Sinn Féin. So it was useless. It was completely fucking useless. And now it's just going to be one of those things that I'm going to encounter an Irish person in a pub in 10 years' time who's a Ukraine emoji guy who brings up Agent Cobalt, and I'm just going to get hit with a reverie of remembering this fucking year, because it was dropped immediately, and no one gives a shit about who Agent Cobalt is, if he ever existed. So Happy New Year. Hope you're all well.
Agent Cobalt was a legend.
Yeah, so
I don't know who he was, but I do like the way, didn't they figure out he got honey fucked, and but he didn't have any information to give him. Yeah,
I think that he was groomed, actually, and then they were okay, well, we've got this guy in here. He's an asset. I believe he's supposed to be in the Shannon. I could be wrong about that.
And he was in a government party, wasn't he?
I don't know if that was ever speculated, but one of the things that was said that they were like, it was like a weird, what's the word, a Rorschach or something, or whatever it was. It was like
Ink blot.
Whatever I was like, I can't do some sort of Freudian thing, given that I just sent the message to my mother. It would be too real, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was gonna say like, it'd be like, some sort of
fucked up
thing,
Freudian
some sort
thing.
of sexual,
You know that chap Rorschach in
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
As I said, he's always talking about depravity. But he's a picture of my parents fucking on his face.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it was anytime anybody could believe it was who they wanted.
Who do you
it to be.
think it was?
Well, I think it was Jerry Crowell, allegedly. So that was somebody was like, it just felt so real when people were like, it's gotta be that fucking idiot. But mainly what happened.
I think it was Danny Healy-Rae, and the honey trap was a goat. They're like, you can fuck this goat all you want.
It was funny that they released it then before the election there, like he was saying, but they go like, it turns out he's got links to paramilitary groups, and they're like, oh my god, we all know who that is. And it was like, yeah, loyalist paramilitary groups. You're like, what is going on? What is happening? It made no sense. We couldn't figure it out.
Varadkar went up to, he's the only one who was
that is true. I love though that they're like, there's a Russian asset in there. It's like, who is it? No, I'm not telling. I was like, all right. And so now I guess there's just continues to be a Russian asset in our, and nobody kind of like,
he's just allowed to do whatever he likes.
Well, that's how you know that it's a fucking lie, because or it's completely inconsequential, because like these guys never stop going on about Ukraine and all that shit.
I also think there's some, there's probably is a Russian asset, and like you read about the Russian embassy having a big basement, but then it's like, how many British assets are there? So Drew Harris is a British asset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how many American assets are there?
Yeah.
How many Chinese assets are there?
Don't get me started, huh?
Yeah.
Please don't, because I don't want to get cancelled.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I also did like the guy who, was it in Austria they tried to storm the parliament?
Was that not in Romania? No, was that a different thing?
And it was like some descendant of one of the Habsburgs.
Really?
And they wanted to reinstate him. That could be something complete else.
You should all listen to Corner Spady to get your European news, because I'm like sitting there listening going, yeah.
And you remember the fella in Orban's, Viktor Orban?
Yeah.
He's from?
You familiar with him? Hungary.
And
which is what I am now. Should have gotten some takeaway before we did actually though get takeaway.
We got 2 takeaways.
Yeah, to make up for that.
And then one of his chaps, the MEP. Do you remember the gay one?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
He's back.
Is he?
He's back.
So yeah, anybody who doesn't know that, there was like a guy who was caught in Brussels, and he was like anti-gay, but then he was caught at an orgy climbing out a window. There was like 11 men at it.
Yeah, and it was during COVID. That's why they cracked down on it, because of the COVID restrictions. And he's back. I don't know if he's an MEP or if he's just in Parliament. And he has a TikTok channel now.
Yeah. That's funny.
So,
like Simon Harris, TikTok Taoiseach.
Come on the pod.
Yeah. There was also, the thing with Romania, like, where they just go, they don't like that result. We're going to do that election again, thank you.
They did that here. Lisbon.
Yeah, true. And then Maloney, no relation to our good friend Mark. no relation.
Yeah.
To him, she's apparently like neutralized. But then when you see how she only had to modify her behavior slightly to be completely accepted by everybody in the West, like as in like in the sensible West, I should say. It's like not fucking Naomi Leary sharing her like post, just going like, not a fan of her, but you have to admit the rhetoric and the way she stands. Like, if Maloney eats shit this year, You can look up like David McWilliams, Naomi O'Leary. Guarantee there's a Fintano 201.
Yeah.
All these people talking about how fucking impressive she is, you know?
Yeah.
And anyway, god damn, it is miserable out there today, folks. So that was really great to have that kind of European thing. I was that bit at the start where I was...
He said convincingly.
No, I was just like reading my notes because there was a bit where I was like, yeah, one of Macron's guys who says that he said the gay slur that implies that all of them are pedophiles, and I was like, yeah, James is a big fan of implying that all gay men are pedophiles.
I'm not.
What about earlier with that Radker bit?
Well, he did it.
Alright, so we're going to a new one now, okay? Now, I have one here, okay? This was my New Year's surprise. I think I'm going to put this in the middle, okay? And I just basically, as everything was collapsing, I was like, I hate this. I hate that I was like, oh, wait until this, you know?
Okay.
Wait until I casually reveal this, and now it's like,
well,
now I'm just going to be too anxious about this. Better not fuck up, okay?
Reveal.
So let's turn off the microphones, all right?
All right, lads. Luke Savage from the Mike Lenos podcast and other places here. Happy New Year from Toronto. In thinking about what my moment or highlight from this past year was going to be, I confess I was tempted to bring up Raygun, who you and your listeners may remember as the Australian breakdancer who competed at the Olympics and was responsible for perhaps the greatest zero-stakes culture war controversy of the year. I mean, I suppose I've kind of brought that in now anyway, but officially, I think I'm going to have to go with the solar eclipse that we got here in North America. You know, it's not often that we're treated to such a powerful reminder of the awesome majesty of nature, the universe staging a great cosmic ballet in our honor. Or that's what I would be saying if I'd actually seen the damn thing. But unfortunately, even though I had bought the special glasses and everything, it was overcast in southwestern Ontario that day. And instead what I had was a good view of some clouds and maybe about 10 seconds of a small and unassuming black dot that was still mostly obscured by same. So kind of a letdown there. Maybe it was a metaphor for the ultimate futility of life and existence, or perhaps it's symbolic of the ultimately transitory nature of the universe itself. I don't know. What I do know is that I wasted $17 on a shitty pair of glasses, and that whatever success or good fortune may await me in 2025, I will never, ever be seeing that $17 again. God damn it. Anyway, Happy New Year, friends. Blessings to the Irish Republic and all the best in 2025. Cheers.
So yeah, Luke Savage from Michael and Us podcast, one of our favorites. We're so chuffed.
Yeah. And
yeah, I get to bring up Raygun, which was good. I didn't know there was an eclipse at all.
Nor did I. Raygun was good. I sort of just a bit starstruck.
No, I was like, I know, I have to put that in. Whereas, like, because at the start, I know, so embarrassed. Like, if he ever listens to this, I'll be so embarrassed. Where it's like, I was just being like, oh my God, he's talking directly to me. But he actually sent me an email and it was like, hey, I hope this works. And I was like, oh my God. I don't know. I love the guy. I just,
yeah.
Is right. I also bought his book for my sister for Christmas, The Dead Center.
Oh, yeah.
Although I should have probably gotten her the Ed Broadbent book because she is in Canada at the moment. So yeah. But anyway, thank you very much, Luke Savage. Great to hear your thoughts on 2024. Everybody should check out Michael and Us and buy any of his books if you got them.
Yeah. Reagan was an interesting one. Didn't she have like a PhD in breaking or something like that?
Yeah, which, you know, I mean, like, that's a rag on your masters again, but like,
yeah.
But yeah, like, I think there was something about it where people were like extra furious because it was like this kind of white lady who thought that she could get away with it, you know?
Yeah.
And she also, I think she also kind of said that she like deliberately didn't do it in order. So, as in, I don't know whether she actually.
She just did something weird for the sake of it.
Like, I don't even actually know if she did any breakdancing before that event.
I think she did. I always find it like Australians are so athletic. Do you know what I mean? That even their nerds can give breakdancing a bash.
Yeah.
You know? Like if that was our, who would be our version of that?
Of somebody who'd give it a bash?
Well, like some nerd in Ireland. Name a nerd, like
Paddy Cosgrave.
Yeah. He'd break himself. Like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he would.
Like no PhD candidate in Ireland can like get down onto the ground and get up unassisted.
Actually, I want to change my one for the nerd. I'm going to say Gavin Riley.
Yeah, fucking hell, like.
Yeah.
And I also did just like that none of the controversy made sense. Like people were trying to, I do think people were trying to imply it was a bit racist or something.
It was a bit racist.
Why?
Because black people do that and she's white. No, I mean, like, no, honestly, it was just the kind of like, well, that's where it starts off, and like, you know, the streets and kind of coming up that way.
I know,
and then,
but it's like, that's like saying football. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's funny that like we were saying it at the time, but the only people that could do that, add that there would be fucking France, because they were the ones who
France have such shocking taste, don't they?
Yeah.
Like France, like the ultimate French move is to wear like baggy jeans and then like tie a bandana around your knee.
Yeah,
you know, that sort of thing. Or like the big skateboard shoes.
Yeah, my God. Yeah, like Etnies or the fucking DC.
They never
or whatever.
left,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they have chain wallets over there still.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot of French books recently. Translated into English. They are freaks, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the solar eclipse. I liked when Trump just looked at the eclipse.
I know that was years ago. No, that wasn't 2024. But him just looking directly.
And like, it was funny the way he squinted. Like it was just like, that's as good as glasses. And maybe it is.
I love the bit though, because he just loves to do the exact opposite of what people tell him to do, which is kind of the main thing that you should.
Well, he does what your dad does. Like I don't know about your dad, but my dad wouldn't buy glasses to look at the eclipse. He would just look.
Yeah. But I love I know this isn't really that, but like the part where he was feeding the koi carb.
Ooh, yeah.
So the Japanese Shinzo Abe, R.I.P., was like going 1, 2, and then Trump's like 1, 2, and then just like dumps the whole bowl in it. I was like, and you just see him, Shinzo Abe, in the background, who like, the only thing that I knew about him was that he had a bunch of like moments with Trump where he looked adorable.
Yeah.
Where you see like Shinzo Abe and he's like looking like, oh, that's too much to feed the fish. You know what I mean?
I know, but it is better to like, it's more fun to feed them loads at one go. It's like if you had a loaf of bread, right, and you're feeding swans.
Yeah.
Right. What's more fun? Is like to give them bits, or just to throw the loaf in, and see them fight over.
Get one of them in the neck with it,
like a boy style,
like a baguette, just like in the throat.
Yeah.
Talk about Freudian.
Yeah.
What was it? Also, can I just, so at the moment, I want to say it is about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like...
Is anyone watching?
I'm even more stressed out from all the stress of the day, just exhausted. So I'm like just in another world right now.
Yeah.
So I just want to be be earnest. And I was like, I love that he just said a very nice personal thing that happened to him, where it's like, for the year 2024 was when I failed to see the eclipse because I bought some glasses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I just love these guys. I love these guys.
I love them.
Yeah.
And I love their podcast.
Yeah.
Top 2.
Oh yeah. No, that's it. Like, I've been paying for that podcast for like about 8 years now, I'd say, at this point. and it's the one. Well, I don't know if they were doing it 8 years ago, but like,
pretty much as soon as I started doing Patreon,
yeah,
I subscribed.
I don't want to be sorry to be condescending, man.
I love their
if you're
perspective
listening.
on things.
Oh my god,
I love their perspective on things as well.
No, but like they really like. So I'm doing this course in London at the moment, and then you go in there, and then they go like, this needs to happen. If the character doesn't change, then they die. There's all these kind of fucking rules that are being laid out, and then people always go, oh no, you need to learn the rules so you know how to break them. And I just find the whole thing exhausting and frustrating, and it's very reminiscent of that scene in Adaptation where he goes to see Brian Cox, and then Brian Cox is up there going, so he goes, what if I wanted to make a story where like characters struggle and they don't grow and they don't learn, and more like real life. And then he just goes, he's like, where nothing happens. And he's like, first of all, you make a story without any conflict, you bore your audience to tears. Secondly, nothing happens in the real world. Are you out of your fucking mind? He's like, a person makes a conscious decision every day to betray his best friend. A woman dies on the stairs of a church or whatever. And so that's the way you're feeling when you're like in the course and just kind of feeling like, I don't know, but anyway, when I hear them talk about films, it just like makes me go like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be like, I love that this happens in the film. I love the feeling. I love the context of it. That's another thing that I love about hearing them talk about stuff, is that it's always like Will Sloan, who's his co-host, has this one where he's talking about trying to find a version of Star Wars that was the original film reel from like 1970s.
Oh yeah.
Because he was like, I want to see the grain on that. I want to see the original effects, and I want to feel like that exists in a time and space, as opposed to him constantly going over it and it becoming like this weightless thing. But anyway, what I'm saying is that a film becomes more than like just this kind of nuts and bolts of how, like, there's so many things to enjoy about it, and then the fact that they get into the politics of it as well, also, amazing. I love it. So yeah, thank you very much.
That was very good, Gareth. Well done.
I know. I'm very pleased with that. But they're actually incredibly easy to get a hold of. So it wasn't like that, all right, next one up. Speaking of Luke Savage, let's go to somebody who's good friends with Luke Savage. Jack Frayne-Reed from Real Politic.
Oh yeah,
our British correspondent.
Hello friends, this is Jack Frayne-Reed, the creator and showrunner of the Real Politic podcast. My highlight of 2024 is the resignation of Sir Keir Starmer as Wait, what? Sorry, just got something in the earpiece. Apparently I lost a lot of money on that bet, and he's probably seen the year out. So let's move on. My highlight of 2024 was the death of Jimmy Carter, who took the honourable way out rather than live to see the return to office of the despicable Donald J. Drumpf. As assisted dying laws are loosened up all around the civilised world, more Americans should follow his example. Of course, Keir Starmer was elected Prime Minister in July in a Labour landslide, spelling a decisive end to the neoliberal economic epoch and fast-tracking Britain's re-entry to the European Union. The identity of my source for these claims, the mysterious QC, will no doubt be revealed at some point in 2025. But as is tradition in the independent Principality of Ilford South, Starmer's authority was not recognised, and Mike Gates was unanimously re-elected Ilford Boy Prince for the 75th year in a row. Long may he reign. Whilst Northern Ireland continues to bask in the fruits of a Starmer premiership, its so-called independent southern counterpart continues to cultivate a thriving economy through the continued production and distribution of its leading export, anti-Semitism. Indeed, in 2024, Ireland shot up the global anti-Semitism charts, proudly sharing the #1 spots with Liverpool, Norwich, the United Nations, the entire Muslim world apart from the nice new leader of Syria, Mia Khalifa, Dua Lipa, Bear Grylls, the late Queen Elizabeth II, Sadiq Khan, Muslims, Islam, and the United Nations. The Real Politic podcast, meanwhile, going from strength to strength more generally, was declared by the relevant authorities to be the least anti-Semitic thing in the whole entire world. Though at the bottom of the anti-Semitism league tables, we continued to be the most popular British political podcast, apart from Celtic Ligers. My cultural highlight of 2024 was the album Meanwhile by Eric Clapton, who continues to be both a better person and musician than Radiohead's Tom York.
Turn the mics on, the mics back on. Thank you very much, Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, or I pissed Jimmy Carter. I saw a clip and it was
he was so funny as well, wasn't he? Do you know when he made those his ability to take down the hecklers that be coming at him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him once and he told the funniest joke. And someone said someone shouted something up, can't remember what, and he said, man, if I wanted my comeback, I'd scrape it off using his teeth. And that was just sort of quick thinking.
Straight off the
dome.
Yeah.
Not pre-written, you know. I also liked how small he was. His ability to transform shape or size.
Yeah.
That picture where he's meeting the bride, and like, it's such a fucked up image because it's like everyone is so old.
Yeah.
In that picture. The smell in that room. and then it's like Biden and Jill. It's like Lord of the Rings. You know when you see like Ian McKellen, it was real. Like it's like Ian McKellen meeting Frodo. And it's like Jimmy Carter's like so small.
Here's Ian McKellen meeting the guy who stands in for Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where the, like tiny chairs, or the chairs in the background. And McKellen in the foreground pretending he's talking to all bad optical illusion. Yeah, then also the recent pictures of Jimmy Carter where he's just like God, I never want to get that old. I really don't. You know, you see the pictures of like Prince Philip or like, you know.
I want him to get old. Jimmy Carter just turned into like a mummy. He looked clean. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like Prince Philip looks dirty. I don't know why. It's like his body is secreting some other fluid.
Yeah, do you remember he got like these kind of raccoon red shapes around his eyes?
He's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
but Jimmy Carter also led some very good jokes of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
When they buy the statue because it's the only statue they can afford.
Greatest monster.
He's history's greatest monster. And then they're like, to thank you, Marge, we've awarded you this statue. And it's Jimmy Carter with Marge's hair.
Oh god.
Fuck. He built all those houses.
Yeah, single-handedly. 95. I can't remember what it was. I don't know who said it, but it was like 95-year-old Jimmy Carter building your house, and you're like, can I get another?
Yeah, it'll be like the house they built for Flanders.
Yeah, so like, and then the other one, we have to bring up is Keir Starmer, Prime Minister. Here's my favorite thing is like I over Christmas now, and also like obviously I'm in London, so I hear and see all this stuff now where people are like, I fucking hate this guy. And it's just like, you know, it's just this, you feel like Cassandra or something. You're just like...
You feel like what?
I feel like Cassandra, sexy. No, like, you know, like where you're like, you see somebody and you're just like, you're like, that guy is an asshole. I hate him. And I've hated him for 5 fucking years. And this guy goes, this guy's a prick. And I was like, I fucking know, man. You know? Like, I'm just
been saying that. Like it's like, it's so mind blowing because looking at him, you know he's an asshole.
Yeah,
and then everyone else just people are falling over. It is the same effect with Simon Harris.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, can you not see?
And then they start to see, and then they go, "Oh, this guy sucks," and then you're like, "Yeah, well, it's too fucking late now." You
he's in there.
And then like, so they had like, well, sorry. But anyway, sorry, one thing is to say, Real Politic Podcast, you must go to it. Every episode, there is just this entire section giving out about Starmer, and it's just a sweet release.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and also our episode with Jack Frayne Reid from earlier, last year. From last year. Yeah, well worth to listen to. So, anyway, the point I was going to get at was...
Hey guys, I haven't
forgot.
seen you This is last year.
We've been sitting here the whole time. That doesn't make sense.
Last year, man.
If I saw some guy that I seen yesterday and I saw him today,
see him later.
Then he would even later. And then I said, I haven't seen you since last year, then it would work. But we've been talking to each other the entire time. If I said it to Zainab, who, by the way, Rob, sorry to get back to your message so late, she went to bed because she has to get up for fucking work tomorrow, early as well.
Hey, Rob, I haven't seen you since last year.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't seen you. He hasn't seen you even now. He doesn't even know. Yeah, for Starmer's face, he's gotten like even weirder looking. I don't know what the hell's gone on there. Very rubbery, strange.
It would make you believe in like adrenochrome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Varadkar's face got weird. I know, maybe this is too cruel to say even right now. Varadkar's weight gain is crazy.
Did he gain a bunch of weight recently?
He always gains and loses weight, and it's always in his head. Like his head just gets bigger. But Starmer's the same thing going on. Simon Harris just gets paler. But
something happened with Starmer, and you'll have to check in with Realpolitik to confirm the thing. But like, he said this, like, apparently he was like, I'm not going to take a holiday this Christmas, and then his brother.
I thought he said he was.
I thought he said he wasn't going to take a holiday, and then his brother died, and he was like, now I am taking a holiday. And I was like...
I thought it was the other way around. I thought he was like, I'm going to take the holiday.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, it must be nice.
Yeah. Okay, forget it. Forget that bit. Cut that bit from the record.
And you're making fun of
him? But he... What was the other... So the other thing that happened with him was like... When he got in, okay, it was like, oh yeah, you set yourself up some easy wins here. You give the fucking pensioners their fuel allowance.
Yeah.
You know... what was the other one that he did that was such an easy win? I can't remember what it was. There was a bunch of them where they were just like, I thought it was just so easy to do. Let's just use the pensioners one for as an example. But like, he's like, no. And then you're just like, but like, eventually, yes, right? No. And I was like, but like, yes, right? And you go, fucking no. And then they're like, look at all these freebies you guys. Like, that's me, man.
Yeah.
That's not you, you know? And you're just thinking like, what is happening? And so rapidly, everybody's like, geez, I hate this cunt. And I was like, I didn't expect that to happen for like 2 years at least. Like people would be like, ugh, whatever, he's better than fucking the Tories. But now it's like, Jesus, is he better than the Tories? Is anybody going to save us? Fuck me, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's such a deep feeling of despair, and his really like putrid dark love for Israel is one of the most like, it's just so pathetic and awful and terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, that was it. Over the years of just like bashing the left, now they're in office and it's like, that's all I know how to do is beat up on like people who, you know, want people who are not rich.
Yeah.
That's all I know what to do is to beat up on them, okay? And so he just keeps going with it. And it's like, all right, more power to you. I guess we're going to have like, I don't know what's going to happen.
It'd be good for the NHS though.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good to get in there because these are the people who are going to cut through the red tape, all right? And if AI can... This is the other mad thing. Wes Streeting has suggested, is like, what we need is AI doing like cancer diagnoses. And I was like, in Ireland, we outsourced all of our cancer diagnosis and a bunch of people fucking died, okay? So the idea of saying like, oh, good news, everybody, we're going to use like technology. It's like, give that money to somebody to look at it with their fucking eyes and have them be in the country where, like, near the person where it's happening. Just do that. It's just like, do you know the thing where it's like with climate change stuff where it's like, okay, we're going to do something where it's like carbon capture, we're going to figure it out, and it's just like, just fucking buses, man.
Yeah.
Just do can you just think of something simple? Can you stop doing this shit? Do you know?
No.
I don't know.
We need like electronic trees that run on petrol. You know?
Yeah.
Next clip. I keep looking at my I mean this stream has been such a disaster, but I keep looking and every so often the mic thing will just be like bright red. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? What is happening? We're doing everything right.
I think we're going to have to record another episode.
We're absolutely going to have to record another episode. And I'm going to have to just, what I was thinking of doing is like just dropping in the clips of people because like they're such good clips. Everybody did amazing clips. and they're just not. We're not able to do them the proper justice. So, and I hope that enough of this audio is salvageable to at least be like responding to some of the people.
We always have the clips.
So what the fuck is this? How many do we have left? We have, so we listen to that one, listen to that one, listen to that one, listen to that one. We have one final clip.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. All right, turn off the mics.
This is going to be such a good one.
Hello. Happy freaking New Year. Okay, I'm trying really hard to record this. But honestly, I need to think about something before I just start recording it, you know? I don't know what I enjoyed about this year. Going to Comedy Unleashed with James was fun. I enjoyed that. This is Mark Maloney. Sorry, this is Mark Maloney for all the listeners and streamers out there. This is Mark Maloney. I went to Comedy Unleashed with James. We had a good time. We were both quite tense for the whole thing. And if any of you have the photo that Aidan Killian took from like behind Graham Linehan of the audience giving him a standing ovation upon arrival, then if anyone has that photo, I'd love to see it. I want to know if I'm in it. I want to see if you can see James jumping up and down, giddy with excitement in the photo. But yeah, it's not. I'd like to call it a highlight, but it wasn't really a highlight because I felt cowardly. You know, James was really good at when interacting with the comedians when they were doing crowd work with us. James was so good at not giving them anything, and really making them sweat. Whereas I crumbled. You know, they would ask me where I was from, and I said, my beautiful country, my homeland Ireland, which is under threat from the wokerati. You know, when they asked if anyone here was single, I said yeah. I said no, and I'm not in any one of those alphabet brigade relationships. You know, whereas James was like shaking his head. He was bloody stoic. He was strong. He did shake the hand of a racist Zionist at the end, though. So I think we're probably even. Happy New Year!
All right, that was great. Yeah, perfect to talk about that as well. Something he said there that completely. Fuck it. I was writing down little things to be saying, and all I wrote is fucking Comedy Unleashed, which is
That was the most stressful evening of my life.
I love that he like. Yeah, it is right that we end on that. Okay, but by complete accident, every single clip that we played was in the perfect order this evening. You know.
Yeah.
But it is only right that like one of the crowning achievements of this podcast, the Bam Margera episode of Come Town, our version of that is going to Comedy Unleashed. I didn't go, but I'm sorry. All right, but like, you know, where you just have like, where do you even go from here? What happens now? It was so, and then to hear because we recorded the episode and there was a load of technical difficulties on that as well. And James was just like, we finished it and people were like, I don't know if that was good. I don't know, because I don't know if we captured how fucking terrible it was to be there and how awful it was to be there. And then people liked it. I liked it. But I still think there'd be so many moments where we would just be like, oh, I actually remember at Comedy Unleashed when this happened, you know?
Yeah.
Or the feeling of it, I imagine. I mean, I can't even comprehend. And then the depression of just seeing like all of these people in the same room, these fucking hogs.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is the future, is it? You know?
So Mark was having a go because at the end there was this extremely racist Jewish comedian called Louis Schaefer, and he was having a go at everybody, particularly one fat guy. He was really laying into him. And then he kept trying to talk to me and I wasn't responding, and then at the end he went to shake my hand. I shook his head. It was just too hard.
There was no way. I'm sorry. First of all, you know, if I was editing this, I would drop in the bit of Danny McBride from the great movie Hot Rod, where he was like,
there was no time to do anything except just leave and just hope that you're not hurt.
Right? So like you really just need to be like, whatever I need to do to get out of this room without arousing suspicions, or like, you can just imagine you and him coming over like, come on, shake my hand. Oh, he's not going to shake my hand.
Because he kept doing that. He kept running over to me and being like, this guy's not laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like sweating. And then but I will say, when we got into the lift and the fat guy got into the lift with us, he was looking for reassurance.
At least you didn't give him that.
Mark did. Sorry, Mark. He said Lewis Schaefer wasn't that good.
So there was Graham Linehan was on my mind recently, as he is always on my mind, honestly. But like I was reading the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Volume 3. I'm going to bring this up here. And in the first two the volumes, they are Victorian characters, or like, fucking, like, who's in it? The Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Quartermain. They all are in this shared universe.
Let's go wild.
And then eventually they seemed to get pissed off and annoyed with it, so they were like, let's just go mental with it. So what they did is they were like, now it is a shared universe of every piece of fiction ever created. Okay, so in the third one, it's just like, I had to keep Google open next to me to just be referencing it to try and figure out what the hell they were talking about in some of them. And eventually they get up to 2009, which I believe is when Volume 3 was released. And at one point there is a guy who bears a resemblance to Graham Linehan, who's being thrown out of a comic shop that I know that he frequented in London from his blog, which I used to read. Why That's Delightful. And he's being kicked out, and they has three comics down that are being tossed out with them that say feck, girls and arse. And he's being tossed out by Bernard Black. Okay?
Yeah.
So they were like, if you look in the background of the IT crowd, you'll see a poster, and the poster is for Mustard, I believe, it's a giant poster of that Kevin O'Neill drew of Alan Moore.
Yeah.
So back then, like, Graham Linehan was like the darling of these people. His hobbies were like video games.
Yeah.
He was a sitcom writer. He loved comic books. He's a fucking nerd, man. And then if you were to follow his blog, he would put up like, here's what I've been listening to recently. And it was always like pretty good stuff. And now he's like obviously destroyed his entire life because he like had a mental breakdown that is just allowed to play out in public without anybody calling it what it is. Okay,
because he got a I can't we found this out of Comedy Unleashed.
Yeah,
like he had surgery and then he was like, I had loads of time to think, and then he got obsessed with what he calls genital mutilation, like gender affirming surgery. And then at Comedy Unleashed she told us what the surgery was, and he got his ball cut out.
Well, you got his ball cut out, but that part,
he was awake during the surgery,
and he wanted that. They asked him, do you want to do this? And he said yes. And then while in the middle of it, he said, I want to be asleep now. And they were like, you can't be asleep, you have to be awake. And so now he's like watching that, and it's like, no wonder your fucking head is melted, you psycho. And then the other thing, on Jarlath Regan, when he was asked about like, why is this any concern of yours, he was like, well, I sat on the sidelines during Gamergate. I thought that the goodwill of people would... He's like, I'm not going to back down because women need protecting. So he's got this fucking white knight complex. And he's also got like very contradictory things of like, they're going to feel so stupid years later when they realize they weren't fighting on behalf of women. But then the other thing he'll be like is like, yeah, Stuart Lee just believes in this because like woke pays.
Yeah.
And you're just like... He just thinks like, no, like nobody actually believes this. You only like are trans if you were sick in the head.
Yeah.
And then anyway, that's that. But anyway, the point is, it was just so interesting to see him at that moment in 2009, where it's like that was like the peak of his powers almost.
Yeah. I also, you told me about that before, and you've been talking about that comic for a while.
Yeah.
This whole time I thought it was League of Gentlemen.
No.
That's what I've been visualizing in my head this whole time. This makes a lot more sense.
Well, here's the latest update as well for him, if anybody's interested.
Of Glenner.
Yeah, he is now... Did you hear this? He's now moving to Arizona
Best of
with
luck.
Andrew Doyle, who was at Comedy Unleashed and was the producer on John Cleese's GB News show, The Dinosaur Hour.
Yeah.
And they are going to be writing a sitcom about woke with Rob Schneider.
Famous Catholic now.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider's really hardcore Catholic.
Do you know that like his daughter disowned him as well?
Schneider.
Or whatever that thing is, where he's become estranged from his daughter, and then they're like, apparently she's really cool. She's like a musician, and then they ask her about her dad. And she's like, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Like, just does not like him at all.
That's another. He used to be so funny.
Rob Schneider.
Male Gigolo.
Yeah, and when he played like a Mexican or like some sort of like minority or whatever.
He's the American. What the hell's his name? You know the fella we always talk about. He's
Dominic
in the Foil
Frisbee?
Hog and Hog videos.
Yeah, he's the American Paul Tyler. Yeah,
He really is.
who was in Father Ted, incidentally.
Yeah, but Paul Tylock plays Egyptian in the Foil Hog and Hogs videos.
No, he played an Indian guy.
He played every race.
Yeah, no, but he's like I think is of Sri Lankan descent.
But he played an Egyptian.
Like he could have easily.
Do you remember we watched all the when you go through immigration at this country?
Yeah,
he played all the countries.
I love like all those things are meant to be like.
Except the Irish one, do you remember? The Irish one, he played the immigrant. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Weird decision, like.
But they had like, so they go, this thing is like only in Ireland, only in India, only in wherever. And then every single time you watch it, it's always like, hey, India loves football. I tell you what, Ireland loves football. I tell you, and I was like, Jesus, I thought these were,
Or it's like, what's the national pastime? Drinking.
And then in India, not drinking. You know?
What do we? Well, in India they drink.
I don't think they do.
You're thinking of
I'm getting
Pakistan.
mixed up.
You're thinking of Pakistan.
Sorry about that, India. Sorry for being racist, India. And then they're like, it's okay. We love being racist.
We're the most fucking racist place on the fucking planet.
We love Israel. Mein Kampf was like a bestseller at one point, I believe.
We love Israel even though they hate us.
I know, because like some India guy will always get the replies to some Zionists. Sometimes be like, fucking mow them into the ground. And then he's like, that's right. And he's like, fuck off. You
ever seen that clip? It's the Indian chaps who went to Israel. And they're like, we can't get into any clubs. And they have clips of them going up to clubs. No, not tonight, fellas.
Yeah. I just catch up with a chat. Paddy Cosgrave, a pedo.
Yes.
Starmer weirdly looks kinda hardy.
Who's saying that?
Bobby G. Ballymore, who we now know to be a
bad take.
Actually, sorry, what? Wait, what's hardy? What's hardy with the... What's a bad take?
Starmer does not look hardy.
Oh, Hardy. I thought he was like Laurel and Hardy. I didn't know what he was doing.
He looks Laurel and Hardy.
He looks Laurel and Hardy, I'll tell you that much. Gayam Linehan, a pedo.
True.
The stapler, I don't know what that is. India or pedos. And that's...
What? Read that again?
I'm going to stop reading the chat now.
Just read it. Say it again.
No. India are pedos.
Fact. I was also saying to Gareth, isn't it interesting how whenever you read about some baby that has 3 heads or something, or 6 legs, they're always Indian.
Okay.
And you said it was that there was 1 billion of them.
Yeah.
But there's 1 billion Chinese people.
I'm sure there are like Chinese kids.
You never see them?
Alright. Well, maybe it's also the horrible conditions they're in and, cramped and awful.
Africa. There's 1 billion people in Africa.
I'm sure there. You know what?
You never see
this.
them. You never see them.
It just reminded me though, Rob. Worst moment of 2024, says Rob.
6-legged baby.
Radker resigning. He would have gotten wiped out hard in the general election, and I wanted to see that. He was also doing a class job at losing Fine Gael votes. I also just loved hating him, which is true. Which is true.
Should we? Not only did we do a farewell to Radker episode, we also were invited on other podcasts to do farewell for Radker.
Yeah,
like he really was the 6-legged baby to our five-dicked man.
Best moment of 2024 walking over to visit James one day, and someone had some freshly cooked pies cooling by an open window, and I took them and ran off.
I remember that. That was a good day, man.
Hey, good day. Good day. Actually, like, so what I do now is I pull up my Google Doc. We'll do this very quickly. I put down like all of the shit that happened in the year according to the descriptions of our episodes, okay?
I think one of my best things, I moved out of a house that was full of slugs.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very good day.
And you moved into a house that was full of something else or something? Well, I don't know. I thought that, or is this the last place?
This
you
is
were
the
in?
last place.
Okay, what was the one before where you had a wall?
Yeah, it was a small room with a wall that was getting higher and higher.
Yeah,
blocking out more and more of my light. That was horrible.
I don't know if this was in the part we didn't get into, but when I moved to London, and it's like the ups and downs of being in London, where it's like, wow, there's so much fun stuff to do, but it takes about 3 hours to get to any of it. And also, I kind of know like 4 people, and we all have completely different schedules, so we're like ships in the night. And then you don't have any money, and so you're just kind of like wandering around this, like, and then everything's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And it's cold and it's miserable and it's full of fucking Brits.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, and I was mentioning to James there about being in a pub, and then like at least 3 times throughout the night, somebody brought up that like, they're bringing cat litter into the schools because these kids identify as fucking cats, and that's true. That's fucking true.
Yeah, it is true.
And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But I say I'm there. All the stuff we talked about on the podcast. Ross Cray, if we remember that one.
Yeah.
Sean O'Farrell, be careful what you wish for.
That was crazy.
That was good. Family and care referendum, when Leo goes on the 6 o'clock show and said that it's not the government's responsibility to take care of people, and then they ate absolute shit, and then they allowed him to go to St. Patrick's Day with Biden, and then he just comes back and immediately resigns, even though it looks like he just does not want to resign. He's like crying. They're making him resign very clearly. They wrote him up a speech. Done. Simon Harris, take our flag back. Here's one that is mental to have wedged in between all this. Jeffrey Donaldson, historic abuse allegations. Was he a pedo or was he like...
Pedo.
Interesting. And was his wife involved in it? Am I wrong with that? God, guess what? Year of the assassin, year of the pedo. Because Sinn Féin as well. In Ireland, it's the year of the pedo.
Jelly baby.
Jelly baby.
Wait, let me get the orange one.
Bambi Thug Eurovision, that was pathetic. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
This one is a podcast related one. David McWilliams' article about how Gaza has startup potential. Do you remember that one?
Was Bambi Thug or Reagan? Discuss.
Yeah, they were, absolutely. Also, the Israelis are still obsessed with them. You know this whole thing with the embassy where they pulled out now? They'll be like, oh, look at that. Look, this is Ireland crying, these fucking sickos, these witches, these, you know. And I was like, they're an outlier. They're not like Irish people. I don't know how they got sent there.
We are the daughters of witches you couldn't marry.
So then Eamon Ryan going after the Swiss grannies. Remember when he made the intervention in that case?
He's dead.
The launch of Wholistic, the Doctor Who podcast, is going to be back soon. We're going to be reviewing Joy to the World. Stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
Micheál Martin triple lock conferences. Was that this year or last year? Do I have that right?
Can't remember.
I can't remember, but I do remember that he's going after the triple lock.
This year they really wrapped up warmongering.
Wrapped it up.
Warfingering.
No, like, so here's the thing. There was a website called like, what was it called? You know, the one where you basically like in your constituency, you type it in, you get a questionnaire, you fill out the questionnaire, you get to see what all of the candidates in your constituency said on one thing. Obviously, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael all had like the same responses, token ones that had been provided by HQ, and one of the ones was like, should we abolish the triple lock? And then they were like, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, yes, absolutely, we need to abolish it. And it wasn't even like, well, we need to have a conversation, well, we need to think. It was like, no, we need to get rid of this.
It was like, yes, and we are.
Yeah. And that's why, like, Micheál Martin, the whole time when he was doing those little conferences or whatever they were, and people were objecting to it, he's like, we're just having the conversation. Like, it's not, it's like, it's a foregone conclusion to you. You love this war. So like you love war. Like I mean that's just it. But like you were saying about like wars being wrapped up, I was like, I think we're like neutrality is being packed away now.
I didn't say war was getting wrapped up.
I thought you just said that 2 seconds ago.
No.
Oh, I thought you said war was wrapped up in 2024.
Warmongering ramped up.
Oh, ramped up. Sorry about that. Apologies. The Sockdem Israeli candidate.
Sockdem's had a tough year now.
Yeah, they really did.
I mean, completely of their own.
Some of it was like weird coincidence, like Holly Cairns being pregnant during the election.
I think that probably did them a lot of damage. I say there were a lot of people, and I'm not saying this. Obviously, I don't believe this, but they were like, yeah, if she was Taoiseach and we were at war, she had a baby, like that wouldn't work.
I think the other thing is that I do think she's a heavy hitter. I mean, you know, like she goes out there, people like her. You know, she put her on posters, and they were like, "Who's the deputy leader?" And then they were like,
"Yeah, some freak
show." Cian O'Callaghan. You're like, why on earth? Like
who? Like
I thought Holly Cairns came up with Gary Gannon. Do you know what I mean? I thought Gary Gannon and her were like, so the idea of like Gary Gannon being out there and doing, I find him insufferable, but like people like him. Do you know when you think about the video that got shared of him saying like, I think you're a gobshite, the Gavin Pepper.
He would have much better
love that. Yeah.
in the debates.
Yeah.
Cian O'Callaghan did a shocking job.
He was terrible. And then they have Rory Hearn in there. By the way, Rebel Recap podcast, very good podcast as well. But Dara Adelaide was on there with Conor Reddy and some other person as well. But anyway, they were breaking down the election and they were like, somebody would want to tell Rory Hearn what's actually in the housing manifesto for the Soc Dems, because apparently when he went on during the housing debate, even though I believe he's not even the spokesperson for housing, I thought that was Cian O'Callaghan, whatever. So Rory Hearn goes on, he's like, yeah, we're going to make a state construction company. And then they were like, that's not in your manifesto. You just went up there and said something that wasn't in your manifesto, which is mental, because that's something that's so associated with Rory Hearn, and yet it's not in their manifesto at all. But anyway, yeah, Soc Dems fucked it this year.
That was a funny story I told you about Conor Reddy, wasn't it?
Earlier.
With my dad's pub.
Yeah, that was funny. Do you want to tell it again, or is it like...
Yeah, he's from Finglas.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my dad had a pub in Finglas. It's what's called... it's called the Kappa House. And he goes, that's shit-o.
Here's a Conor Reddy, like, you know, ups and downs, but like good year for him as well when I think about, you know.
Like, it's a crime he didn't get in.
I know, seriously. But I mean, you know, I think he'll do well as a councillor, and like he'll get more acknowledgement, recognition, all that good shit.
It's the greatest non-pedophilic crime
that happened this year. So then we have, I missed this bit, Foil Arms and Hogs Palestine sketch.
Solves the problem.
Yeah, we did
sides together.
Comedy Unleashed we talked about, but that was a
I don't
huge
remember
thing.
What was Foil Arms and Hogwood? Was it like...
They're all three of them at a urinal, and then there's a guy...
Not sitting down.
Huh?
Not sitting down.
Not sitting down, fucking lads, holding their fucking massive foil arms and hogs in their fucking 2 hands, man. And and like guy in the middle, and then it'll be like, you know, what's your thoughts on Israel Palestine? And you're like, I'm a fucking clueless lad, and I can't even have an opinion on shite. You know? And then they're going like, look, it's a complicated thing, and I read one book, and you know, and we were predicting what would happen, and then I got it absolutely bang on, if I may say. But anyway, that was a very funny one.
Brits.
Simon Harris, take our flag back. I said that already, did I?
Take our flag back.
Take our flag back. Take it back. Somebody could make a really good like drag night with that. Wouldn't it be like take our drag back or something? And then it's like Simon Harris and like fishnets or something.
Yeah.
Okay. That started out a different way in my head, and luckily it came out better. You know, like I was thinking of like, you know, for the flag one. I think we all know where I was initially going with that, but excuse me, I can't say that because it's fucking woke.
Luckily it ended up in a much more tasteful place.
Al Porter comes back with more mental health than ever. Owen Murphy book, which we have yet to review, maybe in the new year. UK elections, we actually talked about that. Thank you, Jack Frayne Reid. Spar owners besieged. That's just written down.
Yeah, tick.
Euros and local elections, which is also interesting that like I've already forgotten about them, even though they had some very kind of strange results.
Anyway. Forgot about the Euros.
I mean, the referenda was crazy too, where it's like, you know, with 3 elections, like 3 votes last year, and the referenda where it's like, holy shit, like, what does this mean? And then, because people were like, oh, is this a vote of confidence in like Fine Gael? No, sorry, it wouldn't be. No, forget what I said. But anyway, the point is like people thought, are the far right like going to be
ascendant?
Yeah, and then it was like, I guess not. But also, like,
I guess they'll just continue to win culturally.
Exactly. Like, we're talking about everything that they want to be talking about. Like, also by all these, you know, when they go like, there's like some racist independents. I was like, yeah, who used to be in Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Like, it's like all these people, like, they're all the fucking same. There is a big. Anyway, so Barry Cowan on that podcast. Can I just ask? And then I looked up some of the episode titles that they have recently. I think some of them are funny, but I don't have it open on my phone now, so maybe I'll do it later. Eamon Ryan resigns. That was funny. The rise of Jack Chamber. You remember he was like deputy leader, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Who gives a shit? Deputy leader, does that mean?
Now he's Minister for
Finance. Bottle return scheme. Sure, if you want to know more about that, go to Callan's Kicks, because he mined a fucking hour of content out of that, I'd say. All of it a laugh riot.
Talking about recycling. He recycled the same joke exactly. Fucking 55 million times.
There was a data center vote that was overridden, remember last year, where they were like, no more data centers to be built in South County Dublin. Then I think what the fuck is Darragh O'Brien intervened to be like, no, that actually doesn't count. Roger O'Gorman becomes leader of the Greens Labour Party.
Yeah.
Boring.
It's crazy come over. They got a good showing at the debate.
And then he's the last standing Green.
So good to see.
Yeah.
Because was you made the point or someone else? It's like if he got voted out, he'd just go off and get another job.
Yeah.
But now he has to sit there.
Yeah. I don't know who's that. That wasn't me, but yeah, it is true. He does have to sit there. Who was that who said that? That was
probably me. I probably said
it's an interesting thought that I had, and when I was having conversations with myself, you know, to be doing. Douglas is cancelled. We did a big review of that. Highly recommend joining the Patreon for that.
All-timer episode.
I love that one. Even though everybody hates it, I loved it. I don't know if everybody hated it. The racist in Kulak batter the guards, then get pepper sprayed.
Yes.
Wasn't there like a fire at like a paint factory, and some guy ended up like being affected by like smoke inhalation or stuff from some injuries?
No.
Okay. Joe Biden steps down and Kamala Harris anointed leader or candidate.
Yes.
That was funny. Then she eats shit. Southport riots. Gender issue in the Olympics with Imam Khalif. Kulak says no with loyalists up north.
Yeah.
You're not speaking into your mic, so nobody can hear you. Yeah, don't worry. You can send a text. I'll just keep reading this. I'll do it like I was planning to do it, like Billy Joel going, the Olympics break. We didn't start the fire. There was an interesting year for Pascal Donoghue as well. I'm looking at like 2 of those. Pascal Donoghue call with Israel, and then when he's like, that never happened, and then you're like, why would they lie about it? You know.
Yeah. What race are they again? And what do they always do?
Yeah.
And then he met up with Martin Sheet. What was his name?
Well, he made the call. No, you're saying, but the one that I was going to say, what was the other thing he did recently where it wasn't just that, it was, he did something with fucking Israel recently. No, sorry, I have it wrong. Yeah, he met up with Michael O'Leary, who also did a disastrous launch for some guys.
Yeah. But he met up with Michael O'Leary, and they were like, what was it about? And he's like, well, it wasn't business, it wasn't personal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about politics.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what was it about?
And that would like that, it's amazing how he gets away with all of that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like they'll just be like, what happened? It was like nothing. And they go, oh, okay. And
yeah.
back away.
He said it was nothing. Stop talking now.
Well, he's not, you know, whatever. And then, whatever. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? Pascal Donoghue call with Israel. David Simon rant about the Irish. Do you remember that one?
That ruled. I love that.
Listen up, you cum guzzling fuck munchers. Michael Collins was a basic bitch, you know. And you're like, why are you talking like Stephanie Preisner?
Michael Collins was a cum guzzling bitch. Why do you keep saying cum guzzling?
You piss quaffing
cum guzzler.
Yeah. Justin Barrett's new political party that looks incredibly racist. That was funny as well.
That was funny. Clan
Aaron, and then he's like wearing their logo literally looks like one of the first drafts of a swastika, where it's like, this is too busy, you know.
And I like the way he had the fleece.
Yeah,
because he has like recreations of like Nazi SS uniform jackets.
Yeah.
Sometimes he looks not slick, but put together.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he's just wearing like the Clan era swastika fleece.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
And his wife is like 21 years old.
Yeah, he's got like a child bride. And then that thing I showed you earlier, and like last year, you know, where where she's like, look at this cute drawing my kid did, and then a bunch of people were weighing in, and she's like, just to let you know, I'm a racist.
Yeah,
like she tweeted that out. I am a racist.
Yeah. So it's a white cat.
Yeah. Let me bring in Irish airspace repeatedly violated by Israeli planes, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
The Minister for Transport, Eamon Ryan, big shrug. Don't care about that. Pascal Donoghue, all of them there. We wish we could do something. I'm not entirely confident. I wish they wouldn't.
Yeah.
All right. Sinn Féin kind of do nothing about the ban on puberty blockers. They'd like vote in favour of it, if I remember correctly. Great year for Sinn Féin. Great year for everybody. I have Lebanon written down here. Basically every shitty thing that happens in Lebanon. RIP to a real one. Sinwar dies.
Yeah.
That was one of the most, and I know this word gets used quite a lot, but that was one of the more epic things that I think has ever been captured on film.
Yeah.
Where he's there beaten, covered in dust in an apartment, and they send in a fucking drone to gun him down. He gets a stick and just throws it at them. And then they're like, yeah, what a bitch, a dog, he died on his knees. And I was like, just thinking, like, you guys are like,
really sure how they had no concept of dignity.
No. So some good news. Tel Aviv bombed by Iran. They have anti-migrant policing versus culture night policing. Simon Harris, immigration, housing crisis. These notes just start to fall apart at the end. It was the part where he's going festering on the canal.
Talking about the migrants festering by the...
But that was interesting as well, where like there's a company that's getting paid like 33 grand a week to keep the barriers along the canal to prevent people from being intense, because like it's just such a good use of money, isn't it?
And then
you love paying your taxes.
There was a bit like they got paid the 33 grand a week, and then 1 week a lot of people just came and threw them in the canal.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you getting paid for?
Yeah.
You can't even do that. Like, you're getting paid 30 grand a week to be incredibly racist.
Yeah.
And you're failing.
And then also the thing about like, okay, there's no tents there, and now I get to, during the summer, walk by the canal in a giant cage. Like, and it's funny, we've always said about like Children of Men, about like how, that would never really, there's nothing you would say would never happen. It would be like a heightened version of our own reality. And then you literally have the same thing that those like migrants are like trapped in. And we're like, now we're walking down through them and it's empty. But it's not too long before there'll be people in between those barricades. The Apple money. Yeah.
Love it.
We got the Apple billions, and good news, everybody. We're using it to expand the Help to Buy scheme, which is not inflationary. We're all getting a house, lads. Way.
Yeah.
Security hut, bike sheds. Obviously, that bone's been picked clean. By the God, Oliver Callum. He is already.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that he didn't mention phone pouches. I really thought that would be.
I thought that'd be the one. Yeah.
Alan Shatter runs for Dáil, very funny. Running entirely on what?
Chest hair.
Abolishing inheritance tax, and also being basically an advocate for a foreign state.
Yeah. I did like his chest hair on the picture.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah. How could I forget? Looked like the Gaston, like Xerox animated chest hair from Beauty and the Beast. Interesting thing actually about 101 Dalmatians when it comes to it's a fucking deep cut for anybody who cares. I have Trump wins.
Yeah.
I gotta put that down. What mess when Micheál Martin was asked about housing. What mess? Maccabee Tel Aviv racist hooligans getting the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
That was very satisfying. Then we had the debates, mentally stabbed. What were some other things that he said in the debates that were hilarious?
I thought it was also mad how your man Pater Tobin did so well at hiding his horrible views, you know? Mentally stabbed.
Should have done better at hiding his horrible face and head.
It's crazy. The craziest thing about that debate is he wasn't even the ugliest person on stage.
He wasn't. Doesn't he look like what are those ones? You know the fucking. There's a movie about the trash pail kids or whatever they are, the garbage kids or whatever. Look at that fucking flat nose. He's like a Beano comic. He's like, you know, like what's a Calamity James? You know, where he's got like the flat nose and the big ears and Pug. Sorry, yeah, you're
Pug
right.
ugly.
Was he Pug or was he Plug?
Plug. I liked Michael Collins' whole thing about looking weird.
Yeah.
And I like Joan Collins being so nice. It's heartbreaking how she didn't get back in.
And then she was crying, and I was just like, "You fucking bastards made Mammy cry, okay?"
Yeah.
And I want to find like, you know, like a nicer version of Liam Neeson, where it's like, "I'm walking around the streets of Dublin looking for any blue shirt." I don't know who got in ahead. I think it was some fucking Sock Dem or something. So I should be looking for like, you know, anybody who looks like they'd vote for Owen Hayes. Which Owen Hayes written down here. A bunch of Israeli weapons shares, and not just normal weapons shares, but remember at the start, like post October 7th, a few months afterwards, and we were talking about how vile it was that they had AI thing to be like, yeah, a bunch of terrorists probably live here, bomb them all.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it was the AI services.
Yeah.
Like,
what was it called again?
Palantir is a company. Peter Thiel, who was already bad enough to begin with. We're getting towards the end here. There is 2 things left. Paul Gogarty back. Syria invaded. I also put down, for some reason, there was no good movies or TV shows, and then we spent so long talking about Megalopolis, I was like, I was actually entirely wrong about that.
I'm trying to think about top movies from the year.
Top movies from the year.
So Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, they have to be released this year. I mean, because that's me. I'm like looking at it, I was like, oh, I watched True Grit again. That was fucking great.
The Trump one was good.
Oh yeah, The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I watch that was anyways good? I can't remember a single thing I saw in the movie, in the movies, in the cinema, in the Picture Palace, which were anyways good.
All right.
Okay, I guess that's it. Yeah. Do we have anything to say? Thanks very much to all our contributors, all our listeners and patrons. Check us out on patreon.com/Celtic Ligers. Give us some money if you so wish. We're also on Ko-fi, whatever that is, but nobody really uses that. Sorry that the stream fucked up. Hopefully we'll be able to salvage something from this. See you in the new year for more
see you
content.
next year.
Yeah, see you this year. Bye. Oh yeah, and thanks Rob, because he's the only